My Fitbit just started making a noise because it's 8 o'clock. It's time to go live, Joe. It's time to go live. I know. So today, if we are all here, I'm just writing a tweet. We are playing today The Language of Love. Sadly, it does not have a category, because this game is not out till tomorrow. We have a pre-release code, which I'm very excited about. So it is story time with Joe. I think this is actually just a pure story game. So yeah, pure story game. So we will be, I think, because this is by E.B. Heim, who also did, they also did Winter something or other, Winter's Daydream. If you remember, they also did Strawberry Vinegar, which was an epic visual novel. I really enjoyed that one. This is the third one that is out on Xbox, and this one is published by Ratalaika Games, who were kind enough to give me a code for the game, so thank you very much for that. So yeah, we are ready to start the game. I just am checking everything got notified where it was supposed to, and I should probably actually load up the game. So yeah, these are the ones that always ask you for who are you signed in. Okay, there we go. Hello everyone. As you can see, Ratalaika Games published this, but it is developed by E.B. Heim. That's how you say it. E.B. Heim is a very talented writer. And yeah, so hopefully, I think there's game music. I don't know whether it's too loud, but I should be able to turn it down a little bit. There we go, just turn it down a touch. Just because I've been listening back to some of my VODs, and English. Okay, so I've been listening back to some of my VODs, and I realised that thank you for the host and raid Reese, raiding with a party of 9, which I think included me, so there we go. So hopefully, yes, so hopefully the background noise is not drowning me out. As I said, I was listening back to some of my VODs for, sort of my voiceover stuff, and I realised that some of them, the game was so loud you could barely hear me. So yeah, hopefully it's a good level. Let me know if you can't hear me. So, this is, sorry, just getting comfy, as it is story time with Joe. I do love doing the voices to games, so hopefully this will let me voice the characters as well. Just shifty the mic a tiny bit. So yeah, just let me know how the sound is, and hello and welcome to the stream. Yes, so I sometimes wonder if other 23-year-olds feel quite as old as I do. I'm only 23, I try to reassure myself. I still have my whole life ahead of me. I moved out of my tiny village and I've gone to study in a city near Tokyo, so I can get into a new university. A new university? A good university. I can word. I'm going to pass my university entrance exams, I'm going to work hard, and then when I finally put my education behind me, I'm going to get a good career. I'll achieve things with my life, even if it kills me. I'm not sure killing is a good way. I just want to succeed. I have a lot to look forward to, and I've barely taken my first steps into adulthood. It's no time to get depressed now. But no matter what I tell myself, it never sticks. Sometimes these words help me get to sleep at night. But they seem particularly hollow and empty when I'm at cram school, surrounded by students almost 5 years younger than me. I really am getting old. Whoa, thank you for the host, Alkash, SK, and Jess. But getting old at 23, jeez, what does that make me? Ancient? Oh dear. I'm old compared to my peers, at least. Fair enough. I think I might be the oldest in my class. The others are all 18, with a handful of 19-year-olds sprinkled here and there. Even my teacher, Miss Sonozaki, looks to be around 25 or 26. Now that's a grim thought. I must be closer in age to my teacher than I am my classmates. Now, yeah, not that they really feel like my classmates. Cram school doesn't feel like real school neither. It's a place where failures and dropouts go so they can relearn all the things they should have learned back in high school. We don't cover any new material, we just rehash everything we were taught in the past, over and over again on a loop. Feels like I am going round in circles, swallowing my own tail with each step, like an Ouroboros. I like Ouroboros. Hi, Dan. Oh, you are lime green today. In the, what colour is Dan? And you're yellow on... So you're lime green on my PC and you're yellow on my Mac, in case you wanted to know. You appear to be green, slightly different shade of green, on the chat that appears up in the corner. And this is bad news. Your chat is working. That's great. It was bad news for Reese, because you obviously weren't getting anyone's messages. But yes, in case anyone who's late to this stream, story time with Joe. I feel like I'm getting irrationally excited about this, but I got a pre-release code for this. This doesn't come out till tomorrow, and I finally organised a review stream that is actually pre-release. Very excited about that. So yes, thank you to Ratalaika Games for giving me the code for this game. And hopefully we get some good story. I probably will just do one stream and won't finish the story, because I would like other people to go and buy the game so they can find out what happens. I don't think this has any choices, so it's just a one-shot go-through, so I don't want to basically spoil it all. It is... I don't think it's even out for buying yet, but it'll probably be, like £5 or something. It's not going to be massively expensive. But yeah, story time with Joe. Okay. Yeah. I've only been in the city for around a week, and I'm already exhausted. Paradoxically, my days here are less packed than they were when I lived out in the countryside. Other than cram school, my days are almost depressingly empty. Clearly this person needs to play some video games or read some books, because that's a good way to fill an empty day. I get up in the mornings, brush my teeth and put on my clothes. I catch the train to cram school, and then I sit at my desk for hours reading textbooks and answering the teacher's questions. We have lots of practice exam papers to work through, so there's always something to study for, though the exams themselves are 8 months away. Oh yeah, and also I forgot to do my shout out to Reese. Daylight savings? Oh, what? Because the days are empty. So yes, I was going to shout. I usually do Reese is also streaming, but today Reese is not streaming. Reese is doing a boosting session to get an achievement. So there's not a double stream, but if you're not following Reese, you should. Superboy. He is an awesome gamer. and his streams are very professional. Great lighting, great camera, great sound. Oh! Oh no! You missed the session because of the... Oh, was that because of daylight savings? Oh no! I like daylight savings because it means that I can fix my sleep a little bit, or at least it helps fix my sleep before Extra Life. Yeah, negative feedback. Oh, hi Jessie! Jessie is always pink in my chats. Jessie has clearly selected a colour. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, I stopped doing sessions on the site unless they're like casual ones because the feedback rating thing freaked me out. Just kept on making me anxious. Ah, if it had been on the site, you'd have spotted it. Yeah, obviously you arranged it before the clocks changed, and then the clocks changed, and it's like, oh no. I thought you were talking about daylight saving times affecting this guy and or this person in the story. When I'm done with school, I take the train back home, and then I while my time away until the night finally falls. You see, this is where you put the reading of the books and the playing of the games, and then no need to while. You just somehow find it's 2 in the morning, and you should probably go to sleep. There are too many hours in the evenings, and I just don't know how to fill them. Give them to me! I know how to fill them! My classmates look like they lead fun, exciting lives. I bet that's why they failed their university entrance exams the first time around. They're too busy going to bars, karaoke parlours, or the arcades. But no one's invited me to a bar, or a karaoke parlour, or an arcade. Probably because you're judging them? Yes, exactly! You should get an Xbox. Yeah, I would love some spare hours. If I could have an extra hour in every day, I would be on an episode of Dr. Decker. I should play that game again. The problem is I have so many new games and old games that I don't have time to go back and replay stuff. Dr. Decker was good. But yeah, there's a character in that got an extra hour every day. I would love that. That would be awesome. It's so much done in that extra hour. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah. Apparently he doesn't get invited out because he's too old. I think he's a guy. Perhaps I could have had a painless time if I told a few white lies when Miss Sonozaki asked us to introduce ourselves during our first day of school. I didn't. For some ungodly reason, I was seized by a sudden need to tell the truth, and I confessed my real age to my classmates. I wanted them to know right off the bat that my name is Tanimura Mitsuki, yeah, like the actress, but it's not written the same way. And I'm 23 years old. Okay, maybe this is not a guy. Whoa, thank you for all the hosts. I'm Paul, Scruff, and Jessie. Oh, and a Dopey. Oh, you definitely need to finish Dr. Decker, Dan. Definitely. I really need to water my cactus. Tanimura Mitsuki. Okay. It's a girl. Still could play video games. I mean, it's only 4 years older than some of your classmates. That's that much of an age gap. And I'm 23 years old. I might be a bit older than the rest of you, try a lot, but I hope we can all get along in the future. Stop! As if. I think I could have made a few friends if I kept my shameful secrets under wraps. I mean, it's not like I look much older than everyone else, but it's too late now. The cat's already out of the bag. My classmates don't want to associate with me. They don't even want to look at me. Really? 4 years? And there's got to be something else. I can't say I blame them either. I'm only 23 and I feel positively ancient. Although I'm closer to 20 than 30 and the world should be my oyster. Oh, I spy a Ray. Hi, Ray. And Mr. Corners, thank you for the hosts, and hello. I have extremely hot tea, so this is going to be a very small hydrate. Because I do not want to burn my tongue. I know. Excuses, excuses. I've either not got any tea, or it's too hot. Or I'm just hydrated, or I'm playing a bit of game. Your best friend on your course at uni was a mature student. She was 30. Yeah. I mean, when I did some of my bits at uni, there were classes of mixed people, mixed ages, because there were some courses that were taken by like second years and also like master's students and stuff, so there was an age difference, but you know, I did uni at the appropriate time, but so there wasn't really that much of a difference. But yeah. So yeah, the music's not drowning me out, right? Just to double check. Because obviously the main focus of this stream is Joe's story time. Good. I'm just a bit paranoid because, as I said, I went back and listened to my old VODs and I was definitely being drowned. It's hard to judge the sound levels because obviously all I've got is like a little bar. So there we go. Okay, the world should be my oyster. How can the world be my oyster, I asked, when I've never had an opportunity to cast out my net? Now I'm afraid I'll never get the chance. Wow, this is a depressing start. I'm only 23. You think this character is Irish, by the way? I'm fairly certain that they're like Japanese, maybe, from the name. You know what happens when I try and do an Irish accent? It morphs into some kind of weird hybrid Irish, Scottish, Welsh amalgam and just sounds bad. Just 23. Already 23. Okay, calm down. 38, you don't hear me complaining. Isn't that old enough already? But my protests are all in vain, and time continues to tick away. Tick, tick, tick. I sigh as I walk down the street, my hands firmly planted inside my pockets. I will try, Dan, I will try. Today was yet another day at cram school, and it was just as dull and uneventful as the last. I might be living in the heart of Japan. See, Japanese, I got the right country this time. Now, but I feel even lonely than I did back in Aomori. At least back in the sticks, I still had my parents and my grandmother and a few assorted aunts and uncles I could talk to. I had friends too, until they flew the coop. Still, even after they cleared off, I wasn't entirely on my own. I knew everyone who stopped by my family's old-fashioned candy store. People used to talk to me as I counted out the change. People weren't above smiling and laughing and telling jokes in Aomori, even with a loser like me. Karaoke gave it away. I like karaoke. Don't get to do it often enough, but I like karaoke. I wonder... Ooh, I don't know. Would karaoke sound really bad on stream? I still have, like, lips on the Xbox 360. Oh, you mean the setting being Japan? I know. Could maybe do to karaoke. Do I want to get that set up? It's a very old game. Yeah, Twitch Sings. I never actually got a chance to check that out. I did download it or post myself a link to remind myself to look at it. If I'm going to do it, I should at least get achievements for singing. Yeah. Extra life lips stream. Yeah. The DMC issues. DMCA. Probably best not to try chance it on a charity stream. Hmm. Hmm. It's different now. I knew the city would be different, of course, but I'd always imagined in my naivete, or maybe you could call it optimism, that it would be different in a positive way. I never believed, not in my wildest dreams, that I'd feel so isolated while living on the fringe of the biggest city in the world. I mean, that's the saying, you can feel alone in a crowd. And you can, not feel alone in the middle of nowhere. It really just depends on who you're with, I guess. It's a state of mind. Loneliness is a state of mind. Life is full of surprises. Sadly, they're not always pleasant surprises. Okay, Mitsuki is us. So, this is my attempt to remember that I'm Irish. So I'm just gonna go, ha. My footsteps fall against the dull grey pavement with a series of dull grey thuds. Everything's dull and grey in the rundown part of Kawasaki I call home. The high-rise buildings, which don't rise quite as high as those 20 minutes down the Tokaido Lane. The sidewalk, which is fringed by the curb and lined with street lamps. Even the sky, which looks grim and dark and downcast, is utterly miserable. I wonder if it's going to rain. I sure hope not. I should hurry. I passed the gates of a small playground, driven by the single-minded desire to get inside before the heavens unleash their load on my unsuspecting head when... Not here. It's not here either. Now, what could that be? Where is it? Where did it go? I can't see the speaker, but their voice sounds breathy and high-pitched. They should have told me that before I read them out. They're frantic... I'm not going to choke. Sorry. Their frantic words choked with tears, and it's obvious they're upset. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say the voice belongs to a little kid. Sorry. I mean, why else would they be in the playground? What happened? Cute little things. They're so cute. I open the low metal gate, which parts with a creak, and glance around. The playground is fairly nondescript, much like everything else around these parts. I can see a few swings and slides, but they're rusty with age, just like the gate. It's all very typical. Standard. Uninteresting. Well, what else would be here? Portal to another dimension. There is, however, a young girl. The girl is crouched on the ground by the swings. Her hair is short and dark, and her eyes are filled with tears. I don't make a habit of talking to young kids, but something about her looks vaguely familiar. I wonder why. Mummy told me not to go outside. Should have listened, but... She hiccups. Her shoulders tremble. It looks like she's crying. Is there anything I can do to help? Excuse me? Oh! The little girl jumps at my introduction, timid though it is. She must have been sobbing so much she didn't hear the gate creaking or my approaching footsteps. Sniffling frantically. Is she trying to suck her snot back up into her nostrils? Ew. She lifts her head and wipes her red eyes with the back of her arm. Do I know you? Gee, I don't know. Do you? The girl frowns. She looks confused. I guess that wasn't the nicest greeting in the world. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. Yeah, we're getting whatever Joe Gaelic here. Not necessarily Irish. My phone just lit up. Is something wrong? Yeah, something bad happened. Bad? I crouch down beside the girl, bringing our faces level. Like, what exactly? It's all my fault. Well, that depends on what your problem is. Will you tell me what's wrong, please? I can't help you if I don't know. You'll help me? I'd like to if you'd let me. Well, the thing is, I kind of lost the key to my house. Your key? I can't get back in without it. And where do you live exactly? Over there. The girl points at the nearby apartment complex. Ah, now I understand. That must be why this girl looks so familiar. She lives in the same building I do. I must have seen her in passing before, but her face never registered in my mind. Well, I doubt I'll forget her after all this. So, were you at home by yourself? That's right. Mama left to go to the store. She told me to stay inside, but she was gone for a long time. I got hungry, so I used the spare key and went to the convenience store. And then you dropped your key? Do you know when your mother will be back? The girl shakes her head forlornly. How long has she been gone? I don't know. I think she left around 4. So it's been over an hour then. That's a long time to leave such a little girl at home on her own. What about your dad? Don't have one. Oh, well... Talk about awkward. I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? It's not your fault. I guess you're right. And how long have you been looking for your key? I don't know. Forever! The little girl looks at me earnestly, her eyes wide in a manner suggests that it really might have been forever. She is so adorable. If she had blonde hair, she could totally look like my niece with those puppy dog eyes. But knowing how kids are, I decide to err on the side of caution. Translated from a child's parlance, forever equates to about 10 minutes, maybe less. That does sound like a predicament. I tell you what, would you like me to help you search for your key? You would? I can't promise I'll find it, but I'll do my best. We should be careful though, it looks like it's going to rain soon. Right, then we should start looking. Mama always says 2 heads are better than 1. The girl clasps her hands together with newfound determination. Her eyes are still red and puffy, but at least she stopped crying. Do I deserve some kind of trophy? So, mister. Oh, I am a dude, apparently. There we go. Just has a name that is the same as the actress's, but spelt differently. But yeah, if they're a mister, I'm making the assumption that they're a guy, but I'm prepared to be corrected. Just say DMCA, sing along the new everything on my side. I could just mime it. Be like, exactly. Can you guess what that song was? One of my favourite songs, actually, to sing. Yes. No. Close, but no. No. Good guess, though, Ima. Yes, what is it? I was wondering, what's your name? It's Mitsuki. Mitsuki. That's a pretty name. I'm glad you think so. At least this girl won't make wisecracks about the actress Tanamori Mitsuki. Probably because she's never heard of her. And what's your name? I'm Tama. It's nice to meet you. Oh, I got an achievement. Meet Tama. Awesome. Any more guesses to the song? Tama, is it? I guess you have a pretty name too. Sure, it's nice to meet you, Tama. It's nice to meet you too, Mitsuki. Hey. Tama tugs at my arm, her eyes large and imploring. You know your name and you know mine. Does that make us friends? Friends, huh? Tama's a bit too young to be my friend, but it's not like I have droves of people hammering at my door begging for my attention. Depressing though it is, Tama's the first person I've met this week who seems interested in forming any kind of relationship with me. Hi, Eidstar. Also, hi, Ima. Did I say hi, Ima, when you came in? If not, hi. Hi, everyone I didn't say hi to. Welcome to Storytime with Jo. I need like a sting for that or something. If I knew even how to do a sting. I need Leaky. Leaky knows how to do these things. So we're going to make friends with what I'm assuming is a 5-year-old, because we are a slightly dodgy 23-year-old guy now who has no friends. I shouldn't judge. I really shouldn't. I guess at this point I should take whatever scraps of kindness I can get. Sure. I'll be your friend. Thanks, Mitsuki! Tama beams brightly, her woe over her missing key all but forgotten, and I return her smile without thinking. There's a lot of people around Tokyo. I see them crammed on the trains during my morning commute, striding through the streets as I wend my weary way back home. For some reason, though, they never look happy. There isn't enough happiness in the world. I'm glad that, if only for a few seconds, I was able to brighten this young girl's day. All it took was a few words. Man, I wish I was a kid again. Okay, we're gonna find the key. It's not here either. I sigh and straighten up, wiping my hands on my pants. It could be anywhere between the flats and the convenience store. Why would it be in the sandpit? It's like a needle in a haystack. Ugh. I sigh and straighten up, wiping my hands on my pants. Are you sure you dropped your key in the playground, Tama? That's right. At least I think I did. I don't know. 1 second I had it, and the next it was gone. And when was the last time you saw your key? Tama's brow creases. She shifts from foot to foot, her little fingers clenched at her front. Is she trying to remember through sheer force of will? I guess that's kind of admirable in a way, but I don't want her to overexert herself. I don't know. I don't know when I last had it. I locked the front door like Mama taught me and put the key in my pocket, but then... I don't know anything else. I see. If Tama doesn't remember the last time she saw her key, there's a chance she mightn't have dropped it in the playground after all. It could have fallen out of a hole in her pocket when she walked to the convenience store, or while she was examining the cute and colourful snacks lined up on the shelves inside. We've been searching the playground, leaving no pebble unturned for the last half hour or so. We haven't made any progress. Tama's key continues to elude us no matter how hard we search. My knees and my palms are dirty from kneeling on the ground, and the sky looks greyer and steelier than ever before. It's a blatantly unwelcoming sky, thick with heavy clouds, which says, in no uncertain terms, leave. A cold wind runs through the small playground. The rusted swing set creaks ominously and the roundabout turns a few degrees with a dull screech of a medieval torture instrument. I shiver and adjust the strap of my messenger bag over my shoulder. This isn't looking so good. Oh no! I'm never gonna find my key, Mitsuki. We're gonna be stuck in this playground forever. What if my mama never comes home? Stay outside in the playground all night. It's cold here and I'm scared. I want to go home. It's my mama. Tears trickle from Tama's matted eyelashes, but trickle is perhaps too delicate of a word to describe this full-blown fit. Her face is turning red and round tears the size of 100 yen coins drip down her cheeks. Hey, Tama? I look at the sobbing girl, her tiny body hunched in on itself with trepidation. I want to comfort her, but I don't know what to do. We're still virtual strangers, and I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable. I shiver. Overhead, the skies darken. The clouds look thicker than ever. Any second now, it's going to... It's like it starts to rain. Ow! Just cricked my knee, leg, foot, whole shebang. Tana sniffles and wraps her arm around the middle. It's cold. Clothes are gonna get wet. I don't like the rain. I don't think anyone likes the rain, unless you're like a tree. I like the rain. Also, the song was Hungry Like the Wolf by Duran Duran, in case anyone was wondering. I don't know how you were going to get that from my terrible miming, but there we go. We'll do another one in half an hour. Yes, hopefully everyone is having a nice mellow, whatever day of the week this is. Tuesday. Hopefully everyone is having a nice mellow Tuesday. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to stream on Thursday. It's nearly Halloween. I might do a spooky game. If anyone has any suggestions, please do let me know. I mean, I could go with the sort of everyone does Layers of Fear and just restart the game because I've got no idea where I got to in that game. Or I could do something else. I've got plenty of options. Not many spooky games, because, you know, I don't like spooky games. Though I did just purchase Soma for like £2.37 because it was on sale, and I was like, that is a really good deal. I do not know whether I will play this game or not. So I'll have a think. Still got a couple of weeks before Extra Life. I've still got a whole bunch of promo games and options. If anyone's interested, updated lists are here. But that is not a definitive list. There are other options available. That's just some of the stuff that I want to get through. I did sort of think that maybe for part of my Extra Life stream, I'm going to do like a promo medley and do sort of like half an hour of a game and then switch for a few games. I don't know, maybe a dozen. I could do 6 hours of it. I'll have to see how it'll fit. I could do that at the end of the stream. I could do it middle. I could split it and do 2 parts. I will have to have a think because I've got quite a few, as you can tell, promo games to get through. So yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, the yawns. But I like the rain. So there we go. So Mitsuki knows nothing. Oh dear. Or maybe a lazy, apathetic teenager who really, really doesn't want to take part in their school's annual sports festival. Now, I like the rain because it's cleansing and because it means that there are generally fewer people outside, which is good during a pandemic. Though I did try and go for a walk today because it was raining, and then I stood up and realised I'd been sitting in a really awkward position. I put everything to sleep, and it took a while to wake back up again, so I decided not to go for a walk today. I'll go for a walk tomorrow. I think I also still ache from putting together my new work desk. Because I was like, why do I ache so much? I went for a walk on Monday morning, but I feel like I ached before then. And then I was like, oh, I bet it was the 4+ hours I spent putting together a desk. For some reason that made me ache. I don't know why. It's weird. It's like when I did like a deep clean of the spare room after the kittens went. I was like aching for about a week after that. It was ridiculous. Probably just means I'm incredibly unfit and need to just go for more walks to become less unfit because I've been stuck inside since March. Maybe I just need to try and get up early every day for the next 2 weeks or until like Extra Life and just do a walk around the park for half an hour every day. I could do that. And what's everyone else been doing to try and sort of keep moving during lockdown? Any tips? I just find it incredibly boring just walking around. And I did set up my Kinect. Well, I then unplugged my Kinect because I needed a plug socket. But I've still got my 360 one plugged in. I was going to do get some of the achievements on like Kinect Sports. but then I haven't. I could... No, I'm not going to stream me doing that. That would be just embarrassing. I'm very bad at it. I once nearly broke my foot playing the football game in Connect Sports because I kicked the floor so hard I bent my entire foot back. The wrong way. It was not good. I had a bruise the size of a beach ball. But yes. Anyway, I'm just going to stop babbling because everyone's just waiting for me to get on with the story. Okay, I've been there myself. I used to pray for the rain before one of those big sporting events every year. It's kind of like a tradition. Though I lived in the countryside during my formative years, I've never been big on athletics. It must have been because of my build, or maybe my constitution. Speaking of which, if I leave Tamara in the rain for too long, her constitution is going to take a severe battering. She's only a little kid, and kids catch colds more easily than adults. I don't want her getting sick. It'll probably keep raining for a while. I guess we're going to have to stop looking for your key. We can't keep it up in this weather. I've gone really high-pitched, but I figured she would be. Of course I'm not going to abandon you, silly. I'm not that heartless. Why don't you come and wait in my apartment for a bit? You can stay with me until the rain lets up or until your mother comes back. What do you think? Is that really okay? Of course it's okay. It's totally fine. What about it? Do you want to come with me? This just seems pretty dodgy. If it's alright, then I'd like that. My mum told me not to go running off with strangers, but you're not a stranger. You're my friend. Person who I just met half an hour ago. Thank you, Mitsuki. Yeah. Okay, what the hell? Hey, Mitsuki, you're hurting me. I know that. Be careful, you big dummy. I recall the words my mother told me once, years ago, when I was Tama's age, and I was squirming in her lap just as much as Tama is in mine. It's supposed to hurt. My 6-year-old self was angry at my mother for issuing such a matter-of-fact response, and it looks like Tama's no different. Tama was crying in the park only 10 minutes ago, lamenting her sad fate, but she's recovered considerably after her escape from the elements. Now thoroughly re-energized, Tama squirms and kicks and very nearly bashes my nose in with her flailing elbow. Why do you want to hurt me? You're mean. I thought we were friends. It's because we're friends that I'm fussing over you like this. Good gracious. Now hold still. I'll never be able to clean you up like this. I don't be clean. I like being dirty. Well, too bad. We can't always have what we want in life. You should be old enough to know that by now. Yes, he's drying her off so she doesn't catch cold. I scrub at Tama's hair with a plain white towel fished from the bathroom. Tama's hair isn't all that wet. We weren't foolish enough to linger outside in the rain for too long, but I don't want to take any chances. My apartment isn't new per se. I bet this old ramshackle building is even more ancient than I am, but it's new to me and I don't want to get water all over the tatami floor. Not that it would matter that much, I guess. The tatami is already stained and discoloured from the previous inhabitants. So were the walls and the ceiling. Since I don't have a couch, I had to sit Tama down on my lap. Her behind is bonier than I imagined, and she isn't a very comfortable burden to bear. She isn't heavy, which is a plus, but she keeps wriggling like a fish, which makes it hard to keep a hold on her. You're a bully! That's right. Don't agree with me, but it's true. You're the worst. I know, I'll prove it too. I attack Tama's head with more intensity than before. I massage her scalp with a white towel while she shrieks and kicks her feet and tries to squirm her way off my lap. I've got to say, this is pretty uncomfortable arrangement. Man, I wish I had a couch. The apartment came more or less unfurnished and I haven't got around to decorating just yet. I did buy a cheap boxy TV from a nearby pawn shop, but that's more because I felt sorry for the elderly store owner more than because I actually wanted it. It's not a good TV. What can you expect for 2,000 yen? But it gets the job done. It stops me feeling too lonely in the evenings. Wow, is that a VCR? If that's the TV in VCR, no wonder they don't have an Xbox. Maybe like a PS1 or a GameCube? I think I had a TV like that when I first moved to London, except it was smaller. It's from my grandma and grandpa's caravan. It was tiny, and I hooked my GameCube up to it, and it was brilliant because I just sit on the end of my bed, and because it was so tiny, I wasn't that far away, but it was so tiny anyway, and it was just kind of cozy. Thanks for the host, Dave. Excluding the TV, however, this room is more or less empty. There are no couches, no bookshelves, no pictures on the walls. I should probably spruce this place up. But what's the point? It's not like I get any visitors. Other than Tama, of course. Why are you being so mean? I don't want you catching a cold or roaming around my room like a damp dog dripping water everywhere. But I like dogs. I like dogs too. But what does that have to do with anything? You're the one who brought them up. It was just a simile. A simile? A simile is when you liken something to something. I look at the top of Tama's tousled head, her choppy hair sticking up in all directions like a bird's nest, and sigh. You know what? Never mind. There's no point in lecturing Tama about the final points of linguistics. I'm not her teacher. Now can't you try and behave yourself? If you just sat patiently like a nice girl, this wouldn't have to take so long. But you're pulling on my hair! Well, sorry, princess. I'm just not used to looking after little girls. In case you hadn't noticed, my hair is shorter than yours. You're even meaner than Mama. She pulls my hair a lot when she brushes it, but you're 10 times worse. I haven't had any practice. Then you shouldn't put your hands on my head. I'm not doing this because I want to. I'm trying to keep you dry in my apartment too. Practice, your apartment is ugly anyways. Oh, it is it? Yep. My left eye twitches. Tama's only speaking the truth, harsh though it is. Little kids are like that. They haven't learned about flattery, so they say whatever's on their minds, no matter how biting. Ah, you see, that's my problem. I never grew up, clearly, or properly. So, I just speak what's on my mind. Gets me into trouble a lot. But, you know. I obviously missed getting that whole filter thing that people have. You don't want to grow up. You don't have to grow up, Ima. You don't have to. You're a Toys R Us kid. I know. I'm a climbing trees and inventing stories kid. Playing with Lego. I like Lego. Reading books under my bed sheets with a torch because... Oh, that was the theme song. Oh, right. I didn't know Toys R Us had a theme song. Oh, dear. The more you know. The more you know. Oh, I should hydrate. Well, I'm not sure where the story is going, but it's interesting so far. I've been going for 50 minutes, and so far I've picked up a little kid at a playground, you know, as you do. Oh, it's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with and price to play video games. Biggest toy store there is. Maybe it was an American. And did American have a theme tune? I don't remember Toys R Us having a theme tune in the UK. Ah. Fair enough. The more you know. I haven't got a button for it. I should get a button for it, because then I can press it So I've got a links thing, but I just added a new command for Discord. It's !Discord. Okay, when did Jeffrey's the name of my brother's cat, so Jeffrey can't be dead. But I did finally set up my Discord. If you're not already in it, though I think most of you already are, then if you do !Discord, there's a handy invite link, which hopefully works. I was sending it to everyone yesterday, so there we go. Join my Discord. It's only got like 4 channels because I don't know how to set up a Discord. But at the very least, you know, if you want to find out about my streams, or just come and hang out and chat, or just be able to access my emotes outside of Twitch. If you had the yearning desire to use the Joe Hype emote. I don't know. But yeah. Maybe I'll create a channel to discuss what I should play for Extra Life. That might be an idea. I don't know. Ooh, 200. Wow. What's your dog allergic to? I don't even spend that much on my allergy pills, and I've been taking them since March. Oh, the thing's allergic to herself. Oh, poor puppy. You should post a picture of your puppy in my Discord. I have a channel for cute things, and dogs and cats and pets and stuff are categorized as cute things. Just to be clear. Oh, puppy. How's Milo doing today, Dan? If you're still here. Enjoying story time? Right, we've hydrated. Okay. Okay. I shouldn't be annoyed at her, but this is my home she's talking smack about. It's not a nice home, I'll admit it, but it's my home all the same. Then what's your apartment like? I can't imagine it's much different to mine. It is different. The apartment is small, but Mum made it look pretty. There are pictures on the walls and shelves and lots of cats. Cats? I thought our landlord didn't allow pets. We have a calendar on the wall with cat photos, and Mama lets me turn each page at the start of every month. I see. Well, your apartment does sound a lot nicer than mine. You see? But that doesn't mean I'm going to let you mess my place up. Now stop being a brat. This will be over before you know it. Tama's uncooperative wail fills the room. I'm a little worried the neighbours will overhear and file some kind of complaint. I don't want my neighbours to hate me. I guess I better finish drying Tama's hair pronto. Her hair's pretty short, but it's quite thick and it takes a while to clean. To make matters worse, she absolutely refuses to sit still. I hope I can finish this chore soon, for both our sakes. I'm not sure which of us is going to snap first. Hey Tama, are you still mad at me? Tama turns her back to me, eyes narrowed. Little brat is busy staring at my small boxy TV, which I turned on to stop her whining. I thought it was a pretty ingenious plan, but it might have been a little too effective. Tama's so glued to the TV she hasn't glanced at me, let alone spoken to me for the last 5 minutes. That TV show, whatever it is, must be really engrossing. It sort of looks like paint drying. Either that or she hates me so much she can't stand to be in the same room as me. So much for being friends. Tama, what are you watching? Tama snorts again, but she doesn't reply. Well, it's not like I care, I was just trying to be nice. At least Tama's hair is dry now, if a bit messy. Unfortunately, her clothes are still kind of damp. Her shirt clings to her, and the knees of her denim pants are all muddy. I could have run a bath, the little madam, and put her dirty clothes in the washing machine, but drying her hair was enough of a chore. She'd never deign to wear one of my old shirts now, especially seeing as she seems to regard me as her mortal enemy. Friendship can be such a fickle thing. Tama, are you sure you don't want to talk? Tama doesn't reply. with words at least. Instead, she turns her head and sticks out her tongue. Jeez. I hope I wasn't this annoying when I was young. No response. Hey, you should be grateful, you know. I'm trying to look out for you. This at least is enough to unstick Tama's tongue. She faces me, smirking wildly and wickedly, and says, I think you're the one who needs someone to look out for you. What was that? Your room is so small and dirty, it's gross, and so are you. I thought you were nice, but you are a rotten bully just like Keiichi. I don't know who Keiichi is, but I know enough to realise this isn't a compliment. Oh, cut it out. I did you a favour. The least you could do is thank me. Thanks, you're so nice, Mitsuki. But Tama's voice is carefully flat, without any inflection at all. It's clear she doesn't mean it. Why, you little... I grit my teeth together. I need to keep my cool. Maybe Tama's acting up because she's worried about her mother. To be honest, I'm starting to worry about her mother too. Where is she? Do you think your mother will be back soon, Tama? Dunno. Do you have any way to contact her? Nope. Does your mother go out without you quite often? Sometimes. Well, then I guess we might be waiting for a while. Maybe. I sigh. Just what kind of person is Tama's mother anyway? Possessed her to abandon her young daughter. Judging by Tama's responses, this doesn't seem to be a one-off, so it must happen on a semi-regular basis. Tama might be a brat, but arguing with her won't get anywhere. It'll just make the pair of us unhappy. The situation is depressing enough, as it is, what with all the rain falling outside my window. Maybe I should do something to cheer us up. Hey Tama, I was wondering, you're not hungry, are you? Tama tries to feign indifference. We are mortal enemies after all, but her intrigue is blatantly obvious. How cute. I might be a little bit hungry. Maybe. So that's a yes? Yeah. I was waiting for Mama to come home with dinner. She never did. I only bought some bread at the convenience store. I didn't want to ruin my appetite. Mama spends lots of time cooking, so I try and eat the food she makes. But I don't really like green peppers. Tama whispers the phrase green peppers as if it's some kind of voodoo curse. Do you eat the green peppers your mama makes, Tama? Sometimes. Green peppers are gross, but Mama says they're good for me, so I try. It doesn't always work though. Maybe that's why Mama hasn't come back home. It's because I split out my green peppers and hide them when she isn't looking. She must know I've been a bad girl. This might be a punishment. Hey, don't be silly, Tama. Silly? Yeah, you're not a bad girl. There's no way. Well, she was being quite badly behaved when I dried her hair, but I might partially be to blame for that. I should have been gentler. Spitting your food out is quite naughty, but I can understand your feelings. I don't like green peppers much either. You don't? Nah, they're so bitter. My mum told me I'd learn to like them when I became an adult, but I'm an adult now. In the legal sense, at least. And I still can't stand them. Oh, my mum is the same. She says all adults eat green peppers without complaining. Well, I don't. I see, so my mum was lying? I don't think she was lying, she was just... Does that mean you're not a real adult, Mitsuki? I do wonder about that sometimes. You're not very tall. I get that a lot. So how about the food? I can make you something if you like. I might not look it, but I'm a pretty decent cook. I don't know. She told me she wouldn't be out too long. I always eat dinner with her. I know that, but your Mama isn't back yet, is she? After drying her hair, I asked the reticent Tama to take to her own apartment. The lights were off, and though I knocked on the door, I didn't receive any reply. I hoped they'd have to note. In the end, I slid a note beneath the door with my apartment number written on it. My reasoning was, let's be positive here, when Tama's mother returns, she'll be able to find her daughter again with ease. I still haven't seen any sign of her, though. I wonder what's going on. I guess you're right. Mama goes out on her own sometimes, but she usually comes back after a few minutes. Glances at the clock hanging on my wall. It's past 7 already, and the sun outside is starting to set. I'm worried about her. Oh, poor thing. As the adult here, I need to try and cheer her up. It's my job, my duty, my responsibility. Maybe this will take her mind off her mother, if nothing else. Alright. I roll up my sleeves and get to my feet. I'm going to start making dinner. You're really going to cook them? That's right. I'll whip up something delicious and there won't be any green peppers in it either. I promise. Don't know. I should wait for Mama to come back, but, well... I can try your food, Mitsuki, if it isn't too icky. Gee, thanks for the vote of confidence. Guess I'll have to do my best. Now, what do you think about a nice warm plate of omelette rice? Rice! Do you like omelette rice, Tama? It's one of my favourites! Ooh, I wonder if this is going to be a food porn game. Like strawberry shortcake. Hey, was it strawberry shortcake? I don't know, strawberry shortcake's the name of a doll. Just going to quickly look. Strawberry vinegar was the name of the game. Not strawberry shortcake. Strawberry shortcake is the name of a doll. Ooh, I have a notification. Have gifted me a subscription too, have People keep on gifting me subscriptions before I can subscribe. So, that's nice. Thank you. But yes, right, where were we? Oh. What? I hate with the time difference that the ID stream is at the same time as my stream, because it's usually when I sort of finish, but it's like right now, and what am I missing? Laura's playing Vampire the Masquerade. Interesting. Never heard of them. Have you? Or ID at Xbox. ID is playing Hexagroove Tactical DJ. I don't know whether people are being sarcastic when they say they haven't heard of them. But anyway, for us, I guess a friend who streams often raids my channel. I try and watch theirs when I'm not streaming. Unfortunately, everyone seems to stream on a Tuesday. It's really hard. I should do a shout out for them. I haven't got that set up. I need to set up some more buttons. Now I'm using folders, it means that I've got more room to do stuff. But anyway, apparently, it's one of my favourites. Ha, I knew it. What little kid doesn't love omelette rice? I would like a recipe for omelette rice. I would like to know what it is. It sounds a little bit like egg fried rice, which I love, but I've tried to make on my own and it just doesn't turn out the same. I think I've hit onto a winning idea. I just hope Tama's mother comes back soon. There's only so much I can do to keep Tama entertained. An omelette rice won't be enough to fix all of our problems. Nope, we're still missing a key and she's going to have to go to bed soon, and she can't sleep in dirty jeans. Can she? It's a shame they didn't find the key. Because then at least, you know, she babysitted in the flat or something. I hope her mother's okay. It'd be a sad story if it's not. Where is Tama's mother anyway? She's so cute. 6, not 5, but yeah. Ooh, pretty. By the time I finish making Tama's food, the sun has set and the stars have come out to play. I flick on the light and then take a seat by Tama's side at the low table in my living/dining room. So, I set the plate of omelette rice on the table before my young guest. I only made one portion, but I'm starting to regret it. That omelette rice looks pretty good if I do say so myself. Omelette is an even yellow colour. A little like the pudding you might buy at a convenience store, but less artificial. The smooth, unbroken omelette is topped with ketchup and filled with rice. Okay, that's even better than egg fried rice. I'm going to have to find a recipe for omelette rice. I feel like I need to make omelette rice. I've never had this thing. This is awesome. Yeah. Has anyone ever had omelette rice? Yeah. Okay, I'm kind of hungry now. Anyway, so the rice itself was fried in a wok, and it's filled with bits of chopped up sausage and carrot and peas. True to my words, there's not a single green pepper in sight, whole or diced. Wow. So I wonder if it's cooked first and then fried. Definitely gonna have to find a recipe. I could totally eat this meal, especially if there's not any peppers in it. I'm very allergic to peppers. They make me incredibly sick if they've even touched something that I've eaten. Or even like a knife that has touched it that then is used to make something that I eat. I get very sick. Not good. Sausage. Yeah, getting hungry. And I've had chicken. I roasted a chicken, and that is damn good. But, yeah. Okay. The meal was rather simple to make, and I slapped it together with the few ingredients still in my fridge. I needed to use up my eggs before they went rancid, and the carrots had been lying uneaten in the bottom shelf of my fridge for more than a week. Not that bad at cooking, but I don't really like cooking for myself. Can't get fired up when I'm the only person that'll eat the finished product. Maybe it sounds spoiled, but if I'm going to put in the work, I'd like to be complimented for it. What's the point in trying if nobody knows how much effort you've expended? During my time in the city, I've been subsiding mostly on microwavable meals and instant noodles. I bought a bunch of groceries when I first moved in with the lofty idealistic thought that I'd take care of my health and eat 5 fruits or vegetables a day, but that didn't happen. Oh well, at least I had a chance to show off my cooking prowess today. I guess picking up those eggs wasn't a complete waste. Suki? Mm-hmm? Did you make this yourself? That's right, while you were watching your silly kids anime. Pretty magical pumpkins is not silly. Right, I'm sorry. What I meant to say is when you were watching your very smart and clever kids anime. Pretty Magical Pumpkin isn't just for kids. Adults watch it too. Well, maybe some weirdos do. Which is it with me and she's a weirdo? Likes pumpkin too. She does. I'm sure she does. At least I'm sure that's what she tells Tama. Parents are always lying to their kids. You either shut them up or make them happy. It can work in the short term, but I remember feeling... spoiler alert! Feeling pretty betrayed when I learned Santa wasn't real. Anyway, as I was saying, while you were watching your very smart and very clever anime, which can be enjoyed by both adults and children worldwide, I glanced at Tama. This time she doesn't interrupt. Do those amendments make her happy? I was slaving away in the kitchen, preparing this meal just for you. It's made from leftovers, but I hope you like it. Leftovers? Tama pokes a fork into the omelette's soft yellow exterior. But it looks like something from a restaurant. A 5-star restaurant, no doubt. I don't know about stars, but it looks a lot like the omelettes from Petit Jardin. Ah, Petit Jardin, huh? Petit Jardin is a pretty well-known chain of family restaurants that serves cheap and cheerful meals for kids and beleaguered parents too exhausted to cook for them. Means little garden. I lived out in the countryside when I was a kid, but whenever I went shopping with my parents in the nearest city, we always stopped by a Petit Jardin. I think I celebrated a couple of my birthdays there too. Having my food compared to that of a restaurant isn't bad, I guess, but I'm proud of my cooking. It's pretty much my only skill. I'd rather have it likened to something a little more classy. Oh well, it's only omelette rice, what can you expect? To a little kid like Tama, Petit Jardin is probably the epitome of fine dining. Well, I'm glad you think it looks good. It looks too good. Didn't buy this from a store, did you? Of course not. I didn't leave this apartment. You saw me. I would never be irresponsible enough to leave a little kid here on her own. Who do you think I am? Your mother? Maybe you didn't leave, but you could have called someone to bring the food to you. I know all about that, you see. I'm not stupid and you can't trick me. It's called home delivery. That's very clever, Tama, but this isn't delivery food. Nobody knocked on the door and you didn't see anyone else entering this room, right? Well, no, but I made this food myself and I made it just for you. That's right. You made it for me? That's what I said I was going to do, isn't it? I said lots of mean things to you. It's alright, I forgive you. You said mean things to me because I was mean to you first. Quick for you because I wanted to make you feel better. Think of it as an apology. I don't want you to be sad. It'd be much, much better if we could both be friends again, right? We could be friends? Sure we can. You're the one that said it first. I don't want you to hate me, so I've tried my best. Now why don't you try some of your food? Omelette rice tastes the most delicious when it's still warm. You have to hurry. That's right. Have to hurry. Don't give yourself indigestion though. Chanting this under her breath, Tama picks up her fork and plunges its prongs into the side of the omelette. The omelette breaks beneath the force of Tama's fury and steam escapes from the heart of my culinary creation. Tama's nostrils twitch like a rabbit's. She swallows. And then, thank you for the food. She scoops a forkful of rice and omelette, with a generous amount of ketchup up to her lips. Her motions with the fork are a little awkward, and she drops a few kernels of rice back on her plate while she's blowing on her food. I guess she isn't the most skilled with a knife and fork, but her effort is valiant, nonetheless. Awkwardly, she slides the fork into her mouth. She chews. While she chews, pushing her food from one cheek to the other, I watch. I wait. I know my food looks good, but about the taste, I hope it's up to her liking. And then, to my immense relief, aww, I get a bleep bloop! Yay, she likes it. It really is delicious. Do you like it? Yeah! It tastes just good. No, better than the omelette rice at Petit Jardin. Well, I'm glad my handmade food is better than the frozen pre-packaged omelettes they serve there. Tama scoops up another forkful of rice and chews. This is amazing. I didn't even know guys could cook. Sure we can if we work at it. Everything gets easier with practice. I have cooking classes at school sometimes, but the boys always complain. Kaichi says only girls wear aprons. Sounds like this Kaichi will make a very attractive husband later on in life. What do you mean? Nothing, just talking to myself. What do you make in cookery class anyway? Last time you made fruit salad. Ah, fruit salad? I think I made that back in elementary school too. I wasn't very good at it. You're much, much better at cooking than I am, Mitsuki. Well, I am older than you. I guess. You know what? What? I think your cooking might even be better than my mama's. Than your mother's? That is high praise. Mama tries to cook every day, but she doesn't always have the time. She's always busy at work. Tama frowns. Maybe she'd like this omelette too. It would make her happy. Oh. Have a nice day, Mr. Cornus. Thank you for stopping by. I should save some for her when she comes back home. If she comes back home. Tama bows her head, her shoulders slumped. All of a sudden she looks utterly drained. Her expression is even cloudier than the evening sky outside my apartment. She really must be worried about her mum, huh? Usually it's the other way around. Aren't parents supposed to worry about their kids instead? I glance at the clock on my wall. It's almost 8 now and it's pitch black outside. Where in the world is Tama's mother? She's been gone for hours. Tama, are you alright? Fine. But you look kind of down. I said I'm fine. I'm not even sad. Crying will make the food taste salty, so I can't cry. Don't want to ruin my meal. Tama scoops up another footful of rice and stuffs it into her mouth. Another. And another. She's eating so quickly her cheeks are starting to puff out like a hamster's. Maybe she's trying to drown her sorrows in carbohydrates. We've all been there. If she keeps this up, she'll make herself sick. Hey, slow down, you'll... Choke. I guess my warning came a little too late. I reach across the table and pat Tama on the back. I don't want to hit her too hard. She's a young girl, not a baseball, but I don't want her to asphyxiate in my apartment. That would be pretty hard to explain in court, though. Death by omelette rice does have a certain ring to it. Sounds like an Agatha Christie novel. Maybe it would make a good name for a band. Alright. By this point, Tama's coughs have started to subside. I let my hand fall from her back and look at her concerned. Are you alright, Tama? Do you feel any better? A little. Thank you, Mitsuki. It's no problem. Oh, it's no problem. Your big brother is here to look out for you. Brother? Crap, did I just say something incredibly corny? Let's try and change the subject. You should chew your food before you swallow it, Tama. Didn't your mother tell you that? She did, but I couldn't help it. I was so hungry and this food tastes so good. She should also probably have a drink, because that would help. I'm glad you like my food, but it's not worth dying over. You had me worried there for a second. I did. Yeah, you're in my house, under my protection. Sorry, I need to look after you. Honestly, when it comes to kids, you can't take your eyes off them, not for a second. I'm sorry, Mitsuki. I'll try to be more careful. I don't want to make anyone worry about me. I don't want to get in the way. But I do anyways. That's why Mama isn't coming back. Tama? This atmosphere is getting a little too heavy. The sound of the falling rain outside my window doesn't help. Tama's annoying when she's screaming and pouting and making fun of me, but I found even that preferable to her tears. I don't want her to be sad. Seeing her so wan and withdrawn, her lower lip trembling, is breaking my heart. I can't stand it. How could her mother abandon her like this? She must be a cruel, heartless person. When I see her, if I see her, I'd like to give her a piece of my mind. I'll stride right up to her and I'll tell her, Hello? Hello? Is anyone here? I'm sorry to bother you, but it's cold and wet out and I can't help myself. Oh, I'm so worried. If you're here, please let me in. My name is Himuru and I'm looking for my daughter. Kayuko? Oh, she just said Himuru. Okay, obviously different part of the name. Tama's mother doesn't quite look how I imagined her. I was picturing a grumpy, ill-tempered woman like an evil stepmother from a fairy tale, content to leave her poor young girl out in the cold and the rain. The actual woman in my apartment, kneeling at my low wooden table, is the complete opposite of that. Tama's mother. Himuru, did she say her name was? It's hardly an evil and twisted old stepmother. For one thing, she's Tama's birth mother. And for another, there aren't any wrinkles, there are no grey hairs. There might be some purplish blue bags that look like bruises beneath her eyes, and her skin might be a touch too pale, but other than that, she doesn't look a day over 25. She's probably around the same age as I am, maybe a couple of years older, give or take. Can't exactly call her fresh-faced. She looks too tired for that, but there's something kind of soft about her, I guess. If I had to sum up her looks in a single word, it would probably be pretty. She's not breathtakingly, ridiculously gorgeous like a Hollywood actress on the big screen, but I kind of prefer that. Makes her seem more approachable, and besides, most people don't have teams of makeup artists following them around all day. We can't all aspire to be like Scarlett Johansson, it's just not realistic. Himuru sips the green tea I served her in a measured, ladylike way. Her lips, she isn't wearing lipstick, press against the rim of the cup like two flower petals. Her motions are graceful, and watching her drink is starting to make me feel thirsty. She'd probably boost sales if she appeared in adverts. Why didn't I make myself an extra cup of tea anyway? Why didn't you make yourself food and drink? This is bizarre, weird guy. I guess I got so caught up in not Scarlett Johansson's down-to-earth beauty, I just forgot. Mama, I missed you! Tama leans against her mother's side, nuzzling her head against her shoulder like a little lion cub. Tama. Himura's tired eyes, which look older than the rest of her face, crinkle with relief. She sets a cup of tea on the table with a practiced motion. Did she study tea ceremony as a kid? Or something? What's with this perfect poise? And smiles at her daughter. I'm sorry I got back so late. I really am. You must have been worried sick. It's okay, Mama. I wasn't worried, not one bit. That little liar. Himuro looks just as skeptical as I am because she presses her lips together and frowns. Are you sure you weren't worried? Little, but I wasn't lonely. I was with Mitsuki the whole time. Mitsuki? You mean Mr. Tanimura? Ah, that's me. You can just call me Mitsuki though. Mr. Tanimura sounds kind of, you know. Oh, I see. Then Mitsuki, is it? Mitsuki? Somehow the transition from family name to given name feels far too fast. I've only known you for 5 minutes. Don't you think we should slow things down a notch? That's what I want to say, but since I'm the one that suggested we eschew formalities in the first place, they probably sound ridiculous. Hey, Mitsuki! Tama, still glued to her mother's side like a kernel of sticky rice, blinks at me curiously. Your face has gone all red. Oh, it has? You didn't get sunburned, did you? No, I'm fine. Maybe I should change the subject. That sounds pretty good right about now. So, Himuro. Oh, if you want me to call you Mitsuki, you should probably use my given name too. It would feel awkward otherwise. I don't mind either way, but if that would make me feel more comfortable, then, we don't mind really. With a small soft smile, Himuro brushes a few strands of dark hair behind her ear. I'm Kyoko. 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 Kyoku. Kayuko. I'm Kayuko. Kayuko? I taste her name on my tongue. It's like a really bad romance novel. Kayuko is a pretty normal name. In fact, it's so benign, it might be a little disappointing, but I think it suits her. Himuro Kayuko. Himuro Tama. I guess that would make her daughter Himuro Tama. I know Kayuko is a bit old-fashioned now. My parents have always been rather traditional, you see. I'm a little ashamed that she managed to figure me out. I think my thoughts that transparent, and I hurriedly try and reassure her. Hey, there's nothing wrong with Kayuko. I think it's pretty. You do? Yeah, the name suits you. I mean, you're pretty too. The moment I realise what I've said, my face turns pale. I probably should have kept that on the down low. I don't want Kayuko to think I'm being too forward. And yet, to my relief, Kayuko places one hand to her mouth. Her fingers curl together and giggles. She's laughing at me, as if this couldn't be more embarrassing. Why are you laughing, Mama? Did Mitsuki say something funny? It's nothing really. I just I'm sorry, Mitsuki. I wasn't laughing at you. I just thought it was rather charming. How earnest you were. Well, thanks. And I was worried you'd get mad at me. Why would I do a thing like that? Well, I don't know. We're total strangers and all, and I guess I was being a bit forward. Maybe, but you live in this apartment, that would make us neighbours of a sort. I'd be happy if we could get along in the future and... Oh, thanks for her, Sneaky. I'm glad you think I'm pretty. No problem. So, Tama's your daughter, right? That's right, Tama is my precious daughter, and I love her a lot. I was so worried about her, but it seems my worries were in vain. Thank you for taking care of her, Mitsuki. Oh, it's no problem. Anyone would have done the same. I'm not so sure about that. People can be rather uncaring. Tamara and I have lived in this apartment block for many years now, but I still haven't made any friends here. Most people look the other way when they see us. I'm sure they have their own lives to worry about, but a simple good morning would hardly hurt. Ayako sighs and shakes her head. Well, I'm pleased it was a kind man like yourself that found my Tama. I'm not sure what I would have done if I couldn't find her. Fine, Mama. Mitsuki was super nice to me. He helped me look for my key, and then he let me watch his TV in his apartment, and then... Tama pauses. She puffs out her cheeks in defiance, her arms folded. He bullied me a little, but I let him know I wasn't going to stand for that, and then he made me rise to apologize. He bullied you? I dried her hair, or tried to. We got caught in the rain, and Tama was wet through. Oh, I see. Tama's quite stubborn about things like that. She hates having baths, too. I found that out the hard way. She was squirming so much she nearly put out one of my eyes. I apologised on my daughter's behalf. Then, though, that must have been funny to watch. I wonder if Ryoko usually laughs this often. She doesn't look like the type. She must be relieved that Tama's alright. I can tell at a glance that Ryoko really does love her daughter. That being the case, why did she leave Tama on her own for so long? Sorry. She was gone for 4 hours. Ryoko notices the crease in my brow because she sighs softly, her gentle laughter evaporating like morning dew. I didn't mean to be gone for so long. A simple trip to a supermarket turned into quite the ordeal. I picked Tama up from school when my shift at work finished. I was planning to make her beef over rice, but we ran out of beef and ginger. I don't like leaving Tama at home on her own, but she was tired and she said she wanted to stay in and watch TV. I thought about bringing her with me, but I didn't want to disrupt her. That probably would have led to a temper tantrum. I told myself it didn't matter, that I'd only be gone a few minutes. The plaintive expression on Kyoko's face tells me that this isn't what happened. Well, that and the fact I found Tama crying in the playground a few hours ago. On the way to the convenience store, there was an incident. The long pause before she settles on the word incident piques my interest. I lean against the table, curious. What happened? Oh, I'm making it sound worse than it was. I'm alright now, really, though. I was a bit shaken at the time. You see, a man bumped into me when I was waiting to cross the road. I didn't think it was anything serious at first, just a simple mistake, but then I looked down and realised my bag had gone missing. You mean he stole it? That's right, but don't worry, he didn't hurt me. I was so shocked I couldn't move, I just stood there frozen and shouted, "Wait, thief! He's taken my bag!" Looking back on it, it's a little embarrassing. Normally I wouldn't dream of causing a scene like that, especially in public, but it was the only way to stop the thief. I knew I'd never be able to chase him down on my own, and my bag had my phone and my wallet and my keys inside. You're right to shout out. You shouldn't have to worry about inconveniencing other people. You were the one that was inconvenienced. Though inconvenienced may be somewhat of an understatement. So what happened next? The guy was caught, right? That's right. A kind passerby heard my cries, saw the perpetrator running away, and she deduced what had happened. She restrained the thief for me and got my bag back. I would have been content to let it go at that. I needed to buy my groceries, and I was worried about Tama, but the woman who helped me called the police. Ryoko sighs. I appreciated her help, of course, but I wish she hadn't bothered. I had to wait until the police arrived on the scene, and then they took me back to the nearest station so I could write out a statement. It all took a very long time, and I was so exhausted by the end of it. I kept looking at the clock, wondering when I could leave. I kept thinking about Tama all by herself, waiting for me. I was so worried. If you knew you were going to be gone for a long time, couldn't you have called someone to come look after Tama? Oh, I would have, but I don't know anyone who'd be willing to lend a hand. What about your parents? Wouldn't they help? My parents? Oh no. Ryoko laughs bitterly. My mother might, perhaps, if she wasn't wedged so firmly under my father's thumb. But it doesn't matter, the two of them live in Shizuoka. It's too far away. And what about your friends? If I had any friends, of course I would have asked them to look after my little girl. But like I said, everyone in this apartment avoids me. They act like I'm some kind of leper. My work colleagues and my mothers who drop their kids off at Tama's school are much better. I see. Does that mean Kyoka and Tama are all alone out here? Perhaps we aren't so dissimilar after all. Policemen were very nice. They mistook my anxiety for Tama, who worries about my stolen bag. They kept asking me if I was alright and offering me cups of tea, but it didn't make me feel better. I didn't know how to tell them I was worried about my daughter. I was afraid if they knew I'd left my daughter at home on her own, I'd be charged with negligence. And I suppose that would be fair, I was being negligent. I probably deserve to be punished. That thief inconvenienced me, yes, but I committed an even bigger crime this evening. Hi, Paul! Hey, don't be so down on yourself. You didn't know your bag was going to get stolen when you went out. I shouldn't have gone out on my own to begin with. If I hadn't left Tama behind, none of this would have happened. I really am a poor excuse for a mother. I hope he can forgive me. Kyoka bows her head in subjugation, but this gesture only serves to make me sigh. Why is she apologising to me, anyway? You don't need to do that, you know. I'm not angry with you. But it's because of my carelessness that you had to look after my little girl. It would be perfectly understandable if you were mad. Shopping and meal prep. Is that what you've been up to, Paul? You doing okay? Also, why are my timed commands not working? Did I not set them up? Maybe I didn't enable them. Just like me. Maybe I did them wrong. Ooh, setting up your work from home laptop. Awesome. Awesome. I'm glad you finally got sorted with that. It was ridiculous that you were being forced to go into work when you're perfectly able to work from home. So, yay! Because now you can work and watch me stream. Which I say with all jest, because obviously I haven't managed to watch anyone's stream since I started my new job. I always have lots of meetings, and then people start streaming and I'm in the middle of a meeting and then I forget to try and tune in afterwards. But I'm not, so you don't need to worry about it. If you really want to know my opinion, I think you're being way too hard on yourself. Really? That's right. Your bag was stolen in the middle of the street, but instead of being angry, you were afraid of bothering people with your problems. The criminal who took your bag was caught, but you were more worried about returning home to your daughter than pressing any charges. When the police questioned you, you felt like you were the one who committed a crime instead. And now you're trying to apologise to me after everything you've been through? I don't get it. But I imposed on you. You had to look after Tama in my stead. You never asked me to look after her. I did it of my own free will because I wanted to, and I'm glad I was able to help out. If anything, I should be thanking you. Huh? What do you mean by that exactly? I mean, well, in a way, I think I'm like you. You are? I've only been living in Kawasaki for a while, but I still don't know any of the people who live in this apartment. I haven't made any friends, and my family live out in Amori. I thought I was going to be on my own out here. I'd already tried to make peace with that idea. Until today. First I met Tama, and then I met you. You're the first person who's come into my apartment as a guest, and you're the first person I've been able to serve tea to. I know we're still strangers, but we live in the same building. Like you said, that makes us neighbours, and I draw in a deep breath and bow my head. I'm happy I was able to meet you, Kyoka. It's all thanks to her that this cold, rainy evening, which was shaping up to be a total write-off, ended up a touch less lonely than per usual. I think that's something to be happy about. Oki blinks at me for a few moments, perhaps unsure of what to say. She frowns, her lips pursed before. Oh, Mitsuki. A very small smile, thin as a piece of bread, captures her lips. Thank you for reassuring me. I'm happy to know there's no ill will between us because of this. Doing okay. A little tired. A little hungry because it had omelette rice, and apparently omelette rice is amazing and I need to learn how to make it. And kind of a little sad because the story is a little sad, but I'm hoping it's going to have a happy ending. But you'll have to buy the game to find out because I won't be streaming. I'll probably do another hour and then I'll go to bed because I don't want to go to bed too late. So I will probably get about half the story on stream, and then I recommend you buy the game to find out what happens next. It's out tomorrow. I got a preview code. I'm really excited about that. I got a preview code and I actually managed to do a proper preview stream. Not done that in a while. Terrible at remembering to schedule streams in. If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm glad I was able to meet you too. I had no idea such a reliable, wonderful person living... I had no idea I had such a reliable, wonderful person living so close to me. Wonderful, huh? I'm not sure if I'd go quite that far. And I don't think Koki really needs to bow to me either. It's not like I'm an emperor or anything. I'm just plain old Tanimura Mitsuki, not the actress. Just a painfully average guy who still hasn't graduated from university, despite being in his early 20s. Nothing special. Certainly nothing to write home about. I'm just one of the many that drifts through life aimlessly, like a goldfish in a bowl. I felt slightly less useless today than I usually do. It's not a huge milestone in my shiny new life, TM, but it's a milestone all the same, and I'm glad today's happened. Finally, for the first time since I moved to the city, I may have managed to make a friend. I get a bleep bloop per friend, right? Now we have Mario music. Oh, that was just the intro. Now we get the credit sequence, which is so cheesy. Ooh. That is called the language of love. I expected to be kissing. Ooh, pretty purple. Oops. There's too many arms there. I wonder if they have fun house games. It's about 6 hours of reading, probably 7 because I keep on stopping to yap. I'm not doing all that today, so I will get to 1,000, just not on stream. I'll give you a decent shot of the game and encourage you to buy it when it comes out tomorrow, because it'll be relatively inexpensive. They're usually not expensive games. Oh, and yeah, despite these idle fantasies, I don't see Kyoku Otama again. Whoa, that's a slap in the face! The days tick by idly, marked by the date displayed on the lower right-hand corner of my second-hand laptop. All that build-up and no follow-through. I We made a friend and a half. I attend cram school during the weekdays and stagnate in my room when the weekend arrives. I should probably start looking for a part-time job. The savings I scraped together after helping my dad in his store are going to run out eventually, and I'd rather not stand idle until that happens. Though this apartment's pretty cheap, it still takes a chunk out of my finances each month. And yeah, despite the ever-pressing concern of bankruptcy, I don't do anything. I have to force myself to get out of my futon in the mornings, and the commute by a train to my cram school is nothing short of miserable. At least I'm still leaving my apartment, that's something. I haven't become a total shut-in just yet. I'm doing the bare minimum it takes for a person to survive, but when I left for the city, I didn't want to do the bare minimum. I told myself I was going to work harder than ever, get into a good university and make something of myself. I wanted to succeed. It's a shame making resolutions inside one's head isn't enough to change anything. Actions speak louder than words, and words are more than thoughts will ever be. Sometimes I almost feel like giving up. I know even if I don't get into a good university, or any university at all, my parents will welcome me back home with open arms. No matter what happens, they'll believe I tried my best. That's because they trust me. My mother calls me every other day, asking how I am, and she sounds so excited about my future I'm forced to tell barefaced lies to hide my shame. Oh yeah, it's going great, I'm doing really well, the big city's kind of overwhelming, but I'm having a lot of fun. If by fun you mean sitting around in my tiny room eating instant noodles. I'm really living the dream. My neighbours don't talk to me, my classmates don't look at me, I have nobody to spend time with and nothing to do. I wish something would come and break up the monotony of my dull life. Well, the nothing to do you can remedy. People are harder, but you know. Anything. I'm greeted instead by a big, resounding nothing. Nothing. Until today. I'm lying on the tatami floor like usual, staring up at the ceiling. I don't know how long I've been lying down, or perhaps, more worryingly, I don't care. A little voice in the back of my mind nags me. It tells me to get up and do something productive, like studying, or cooking dinner, or looking for job openings online. I'd even do jumping jacks, though that would probably bother the people living in the room downstairs. Anything would be better than lying here, stagnating. I can't afford to do nothing for much longer though, because... Knock, knock, knock! Somebody's knocking on my front door. Somebody actually wants to talk to me? I don't know anyone in this apartment complex other than Kayuki and Tama, so logic dictates that it must be them. I sit up, excitement bubbling in the pit of my stomach until... Of course not, don't be stupid. My anticipation withers. Am I getting so worked up? Am I really that desperate for human company? Clearly, yes. There are absolutely no guarantees it's Kayuki standing on my doorstep. She has no reason to talk to me again, not now that Tama's been recovered. It's more than likely a salesperson. Don't let yourself get too excited, you'll just end up disappointed. That's how life is. I lie back down like an upturned turtle, waiting for the knocking to die down and the unknown visitor to take their leave when... Knock, knock, knock. I hear the knocking again. It sounds even more insistent this time. If it really is a salesperson, they're certainly keen. Well, I think judiciously. If they want to talk to me that badly, maybe I can oblige. Who knows? Seeing someone just as desperate as I am might cheer me up, if only for a few fleeting moments. Ooh! Whoa! Oh! Wow, thank you! Thank you very much for the donation. That's awesome. For the kids! The kids! For the kids! And one more time. For the kids! Oh dear. Story time with Joe. Yeah, totally need a sting for story time with Joe. Maybe I should just do a podcast and reading stuff out. Like, out of copyright stuff, because obviously, But then that would involve work. No, not so much work, it's effort with editing. I'm not bad at I'm not good at editing or taking the time to do editing. For the kids! Woohoo! Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. And also, I actually saw the alert this time. They definitely work. Definitely work. Yeah, see, even upstairs is celebrating. Trying to come through the ceiling, but they seem to be happy about something. Knock, 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 knock. Alright, I'm coming. Just wait a sec. Excuse me. I pad over to the front door, shuffling in my indoor slippers. Gift from my parents before I moved out, along with the underutilized rice cooker, and reach out for the handle. The locker clicks. I pull the door open, expecting nothing but disappointment. Why should it be anything else? And... It's Mitsuki again! It feels like it's been ages! Tama? That's my name? I know that's your name. I wasn't asking that. I was just wondering. What are you doing here? Mama brought me here. Come say hi, Mama. Come on. Tama, I told you not to run on ahead like that. You could trip and hurt yourself. But I didn't hurt myself, so I'm fine. The irrefutable logic of a child. I'm just impressed by how brazen it is. Anyway, I wanted to see Mitsuki. It's been so long. Oh, it's nice to know somebody missed me. It's been a while, yes. But you shouldn't bang on his door like that. It's rude. I hope we're not imposing on you, Mitsuki. Ryuki looks at me anxiously, a plastic bag held in her hand. Well, I wonder what's inside it. Oh no, you're not imposing at all. You can never impose. I was just wondering, crap, I wish I'd worn some nicer clothes. Ryuki's gonna think I'm a slob stumbling to the door in this old shirt. To what do I owe the pleasure? Well, I know you said I didn't need to apologise, but after everything that happened last week, I thought it would be prudent to... Hey Mitsuki, I'm going to watch TV, okay? Pretty Magical Pumpkin is on. Tama sneaks around me, a devilish grin on her face, and dashes into my inner sanctum. She didn't even take her shoes off. It's a brat. She's going to leave dirty footprints all over my floor. Not like I'm the most house-proud guy around, and my apartment is a bit of a dump, but I don't want to making it dirtier than it already is. Hey Tama, you need to take off your shoes before you enter somebody's house. Haven't I told you that before? But this isn't a real house, it's just a tiny little room. Be that as it may, you still need to observe basic manners. I don't want Mr. Tanemura to think that you're a rude little girl. Mr. Tanemura, he's just playing with Mitsuki. Either way, I'd like you to show him a bit of respect, young lady. I'm not a lady, I'm just a kid. Exactly. You're my kid, and if you don't listen to me, you'll be eating green peppers for the rest of the week. But I hate green peppers! Then you better take your shoes off. Boo, you're mean, Mama's mean! I can be much, much meaner, just try me. Tama's face turns pale. She bends down suddenly, the picture of obedience, and begins to remove her shoes. Then she lines them up neatly next to my own worn sneakers. How's that? Did I do a good job? You did good. Good girl. Does that mean I don't have to eat the green peppers? You still need to eat your green peppers, Tama, but I'll make an exception tonight. Nice girl. Her moods sure are mercurial. All children are easily placated. Now, what do you say to Mitsuki? for being a bad girl, Mitsuki. I won't wear my shoes in your house ever again. Even if your place is tiny and the floor's already dirty and it's not a real house. Tama, you shouldn't say things like that. Don't worry about it, Kayuko. I don't mind. I'm just glad to see Tama in such high spirits. Really, I'm glad for any human contact at all. Since when did I become so pathetic? Sob. See, my Mitsuki doesn't mean mine. That means I can be as messy as I want. No, it does not mean that, and Mitsuki might not mind, but I do. Be on your best behaviour, please. That's boring, but if I don't get any peppers tonight, I'll do my best. Good girl. Kayuki sighs and presses her fingers against her temple. Tama can be such a handful sometimes. She has far too much energy for her own good. My poor mama can't keep up with her. Having a kid must be rough. You have no idea. Well, I feel kind of bad making you wait by the door like that. Do you want to come in? Oh, I only intended to visit for a short while, but, Kayuki glances over my shoulder, her shoes now lined up. Tama's retreated once more into my room. She's sitting on the floor cross-legged, flipping through the channels with my remote. Kayuki sighs. I suppose my daughter has other ideas. You don't mind, do you? Of course not. Like I said, I'm happy to see you. Be no exaggeration to say I really couldn't be happier. Now, why don't I make you a cup of green tea? Ooh, tea. My hair needs a brush. I just keep on seeing it. It's like, it's flipping out everywhere. Once again, I really am sorry for bothering you. And like I said, it's no bother at all. I smile at Kayuki and place the freshly brewed cup of green tea down before her. Be careful, it's hot. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Kayuki brings the cup to her lips, her fingers perfectly still and steady, and blows on the steamy surface of the tea before taking a sip. As the seconds pass, a relaxing atmosphere begins to settle inside my apartment. The low, tinny sound of the television hums in the background, coupled with Tama's excitable whoops. Steam rises from the inside of Kayuki's teacup, coiling and shifting like something alive. The aroma of green tea powder lingers in the air. It's a warm, relaxing kind of smell that reminds me of home. So I'm a little curious. Why did you come to see me, Kayuki? Well, it's like I said earlier. I wanted to apologize for inconveniencing you the other day, though you already told me that's unnecessary. I don't consider what you did an inconvenience. Yes, well, that's very sweet of you. I think you might be rather too sweet, though. Too sweet? Is that even possible? I thought girls were supposed to have a separate stomach for desserts. Sadly, I don't eat desserts very much. You mean you don't like them? I do, but I'm old enough to have some self-control. The one with the incorrigible sweet tooth would be Tama over there. I prefer traditional Japanese sweets to pastries and cakes anyway. To get back to the matter at hand, I thought it would be only polite if I repaid you in some manner. I know this isn't too much, but... Kayuki opens the plastic bag she brought with her and procures something from its depths with a rustle. Yeah. She holds out the gift to me and I look at it curiously. There, resting in Kayuki's hands, is a small, neatly wrapped box that looks about the size of a lunchbox. The handkerchief that wraps around the mystery item is rather cute. It's pale pink and decorated with cartoon cat faces. I wonder if Kayuki bundles Tama's lunch up in handkerchiefs like this when she sends her off to school. But maybe Tama eats school lunches instead. It might be easier for Kayuki to cope with being a single mother than me. Oh well, let's not read into this too much. You really didn't need to make me anything, but thank you all the same. I accept the box from Koyuki with a polite smile and unwrap it. The lid of the box is tightly sealed, and it's hard to see what exactly it contains, but its contents look kind of brown or orange. I hope you like it. Thank you, I'm sure I will, but I have one question. Oh, what? I hope I don't sound stupid, but what's in this box exactly? It's kinpira. Kinpira? Chopped burdock root and carrot with some lotus thrown in too. Oh, no, I know what a kinpira is. I was just a little surprised. Oh. Koyuki tips her head shyly, hiding behind her loose hair. It's fine, really. Kinpira feels kind of nostalgic, that's all. Nostalgic? My mother used to make it for me before. I pause. Not sure if I want to talk about the accident right now. Anyways, it was a dish we ate at home a lot. I haven't had it since I came out here. It reminds me of my family. As to the comforting smell of green tea that continues to permeate the air. Green tea and kinpira, huh? If I could hear the chirping of cicadas in the background, it'd be like I never left Amore. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. It's no problem. Tama told me you were quite the cook, so I thought you might use this as some kind of side dish. Then again, Koyuki's smile takes on a rueful edge. If you're as good at cooking as Tama said, you probably won't have any use for it. I've been quite busy with work lately and I don't have enough time to cook. I'm not very good at it either. I have a habit of burning simple meals and I'm not good at measuring out ingredients, and sometimes I nick myself with a knife when I'm cutting vegetables. Not that I cut myself when I was making this kinpira, of course. I was very careful. I'd never be so careless as to bleed all over a present. But if I'm being quite honest, your cooking probably tastes better than mine. That's right, Mitsuki rice omelette was much, much more delicious than yours. Is that so? It's true. It's totally true. Mitsuki's food tasted like something you get in a real restaurant. I bet Mitsuki would never forget about the rice in the cooker or cry when he peels onions. Tama, you're so cruel. Are you trying to punish me for all the times I've made you eat green peppers? I'm not trying to punish you. I'm being a good girl. How is making fun of my cooking being good? You told me to always tell the truth, so I'm telling it. Mitsuki's cooking is better than yours. That's the truth. Tama beams brightly and puffs out her chest with nary a shred of guilt. I'm not sure this little demon understands she's done anything to feel guilty about in the first place. Children sure are scary. In fact, Mitsuki's omelette rice was even tastier than the omelette rice in Petit Jardin. Well, I'm glad. What? Oop, crap, I just hit auto. I didn't mean to hit auto. That does sound wonderful, but now I'm even more uncertain about my present. Koyuki heaves a heavy sigh, her head hanging. Maybe I should ask for that kinpira back. Oh, no, you don't. You gave it to me as a present, and I want to eat every last bit of it. What if it isn't good? I might not have seasoned it enough, and I know I didn't cut the vegetables evenly. It's fine. I'm sure I'll love it all the same. You can't know that until you've tried it. Don't worry too much. I'm sure it'll be good. I don't know if that makes me feel any better. Kinpira is supposed to be a simple dish. That's why I decided to make it. I thought it'd be impossible to mess up, but now I'm starting to doubt myself. I wanted to do something kind for you, but it feels like I'm imposing instead. And I already said you aren't. I don't mind at all. You're very kind, Mitsuki, but I wish there was something more I could do for you. You've done more than enough already. I wonder. Koyuki looks at my tabletop. Her visit was so unexpected I didn't get a chance to clean up before she arrived, and it's strewn with open English textbooks and my own notebooks from class. What's all this? Oh, it's nothing. I've just been studying a little, that's all. Which is a bald-faced lie, but leaving my books on the table and telling myself I'll get around to studying eventually. It kind of counts, doesn't it? Hopefully. Probably not. Are you preparing for the university entrance exams next year by any chance? That's right. I laugh awkwardly, not knowing what else to do, and run a hand through my hair. As you can see, I still haven't gotten into university, even though I'm so old. I'm a little behind my peers. Old? Haruka frowns. You don't look old to me. I thought you were only 18. Well, thanks, I'm not. Sure if I should feel happy about that or not? If you want to know the truth, I'm actually 23. 23? Ugh, I bet Haruka thinks I'm some kind of loser now. To ruin my chances with her. Not that I had a chance to begin with, but if I did, that ship has totally sailed and sunk now. That's right, you heard me. I'm 23 years old and I still haven't gone to university. It's pretty pathetic, huh? Oh no, I don't think that at all. Everyone moves at a different pace and our lives can lead us in unexpected directions. I'd never judge anyone based on that academic background. It'd be highly hypocritical of me. I have no right to look down on you or anybody else. It doesn't matter when you go to university or if you go at all. That doesn't determine your worth as a person. Exactly! I think it's impressive that you're still trying to achieve your goals. That's the most important thing. I know Haruka means well, but her words of encouragement make me feel even more depressed. Trying. She thinks I'm trying. Actually, I've just replied to my tweet, which I'm assuming is Paul's donation, going, amazing! Make it rain! I actually think it's raining outside, so I don't think that's what they mean, but... She thinks I'm trying. I might be able to lie to my mother about the effort I'm expending on my studies, which is, in reality, a big fat zero, but Haruka... How could I ever hope to deceive her when she's sitting in my living room at the opposite end of my table, looking at me with almost motherly concern? It isn't possible. Excuse me? I can't lie to her. I don't want to. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself. So I give in. I don't know if trying is the right word. I'm not sure how well my studies are going, really. No, that isn't true. I know exactly how well everything's going. I eye the open textbooks on my table. It's going terribly. Terribly? That's right. I haven't been to school in almost 5 years. I was busy helping my parents out back in Amori. It's not like I resent them for it, but I kind of forgot how to study. You were helping your parents? That's right. This may be a personal question, but might I ask what you were helping them with? It's a long story and it's probably not very interesting. That isn't true. I'd like to know more about you, Mitsuki. I'm sure I won't be bored. We don't have many opportunities to talk with our neighbours, so I'd like it if I could learn a little more about you. Besides, it isn't good to bottle things up. When she asked me like that, how can I refuse? You'd have to be some kind of monster to say no to that face. You've got me. She's got me in more ways than one. I don't think my heart's had such a rigorous workout in years. You see you're interested now, but I don't want to keep you here for hours and hours, so I'll try and sum things up. You see, when I was in my last year of high school, my mum got into a pretty serious accident. I didn't really want to talk about the accident, but now it's out in the open, I feel strangely relieved. Maybe I've been trying to bury the past for too long. The truth was painful, so I hid it away in my heart. But hiding the truth doesn't change the past. Nothing can do that. It's already too late. She was hit by a car when she was crossing the road. It was pretty serious too. She was taken to the hospital and the doctors didn't think she'd survive. We were wrong. My mum recovered, but she was in a critical state for a while. It's pretty scary. My mum was always such a strong, lively woman, but she was reduced to an invalid in a matter of seconds. I clenched my fists together beneath the table. It's been 5 years, but I still haven't forgiven that reckless driver, whoever they were. It's the worst thing about this debacle. I don't know who they were. Nobody does. The accident happened on a quiet road without any security cameras, and there weren't any witnesses. The asshole who put my mum in such a state was caught, maybe I'd feel some kind of closure. Be like those detective dramas my parents liked so much. Justice has been served and all that. It's too bad real life doesn't work that way. But my mum's a pretty tough woman and she was determined to get better. She'd regained control of her upper body after a few months in hospital, but she still couldn't walk. I don't think she'll ever walk again. She took it pretty well though, all things considered. After a while she was discharged from the hospital, but she still can't control her body from the waist down. Sadly, this caused a few problems. My mum used to work with her dad in a store. It's a small old-fashioned candy store in the middle of the countryside. It's never been super popular, but it did well enough with the local kids. After the accident, however, my mum couldn't help out in the store like she used to. She got tired more easily and she couldn't help dad with the stock. My parents weren't that well off and they didn't have enough money to hire anyone part-time, so I decided to step in. My parents asked me if I was sure. Didn't I want to go to university like the rest of my friends, but I was adamant. I figured if they needed me and I owed them for all that they'd done for me. I only intended to help out for a while, but I guess I fell into a routine. In the end, I stayed in Aomori with my parents for 5 years. At least until my mum's sister decided to move to Aomori to help look after them. After my aunt moved in, my parents told me I should try and pursue my own dreams. I'm a little too old now, but they said I should study all the same so I can take my university entrance exams next year. I've been trying, but I'm so far behind everyone else, I'm afraid I'll never catch up. Kinda feels like I'm wasting my time, to be honest. I heave a heavy sigh, suddenly thirsty from all my talking, and trace a fingertip against the tabletop. Oh well, it's not like I can go back in time. I need to keep going forward no matter how many times I get pushed back. It's all I can do. Even if this ends in total failure. Failure! Very chill music, yes. It's almost making me a little sleepy. I'm hoping we get to sort of a convenient ending point for the stream in sort of 20 minutes or so. But it's definitely an intriguing story. I feel like it's going to be a romance. It'd be interesting to see how it sort of pans out. If I don't accidentally fall asleep. Oh dear. Hi, Mitsuki. Payuki was listening to my story in rapt silence, now looks at me with unabashed sympathy. I'm not opposed to her sympathy, of course, but I don't like it when people feel sorry for me. I stayed in Aomori of my own free will. Nothing was tying me down there other than my love for my parents and a sense of filial duty. I don't want to feel ashamed about my past, and I'm not. I'm fine. I was fine, at least, but I don't think you're a failure at all. It's very admirable that you helped your family for so long. You really are a model son. Your parents must be proud of you. I guess. They'd be less proud of me if I can't get into a decent university. But I know that's not true, not really. My parents' love for me is more or less unconditional. I bet I could get involved in a gang or the Yakuza and they'd take me back with open arms. My dad might be a little distant, emotionally constipated as my mother says, but he's always been there for me. So is my mum. I know I'm lucky to have parents like mine, and I know they'll love me no matter what, but I don't want to let them down. I want to forge my own path in life, but I'm not sure I can. I'm just not a very smart person, I guess. Then how about this? What? Payuki's looking oddly fired up. She leans across the table, palms pressed against the surface, and smiles at me brightly. I'm afraid my Kimpara is too subpar to count as a proper thank you, but this should be a suitable way to show my gratitude. Why don't you let me tutor you? Tutor? That's right. I never went to university myself, but I did reasonably well in school. Not to boast, but I was actually a model student. I received the highest grades in my year. She says she isn't boasting, but she totally is. I can tell she's proud of her achievements, but who am I to fault her? If I'd been any good in school, I'd probably want to boast about it too. It's been a long while since I looked at a textbook, but perhaps I could help you. That is, if you wouldn't mind. Well, if you really want to spend more time with me. I'd love to. I mean, Koku smiles shyly. Her cheeks tinged pale pink and kneels back down on the tatami floor. I would like to help. You took care of my daughter, so offering my time in return seems only fair. You don't have to agree, but I am in your debt, and I'd like to make things up to you in some manner, and this seems like the best way. You can come over to my apartment if you like. Tama will be there, of course, but I don't think she'd mind spending more time with you. Huh? Are we going to spend time with Mitsuki, Mama? If Mizuki isn't opposed to the idea. Yay! We're going to spend time with Mizuki! Do you like him that much? I think his food. You really are simple, Tama. Let's hear what Mizuki has to say first. I don't want to put any pressure on him. Well, I blinked, nonplussed. Why is Koki so gung-ho about spending more time with me? It can't be. Is it because she's lonely? Maybe this, like the comparer, is nothing more than an excuse. Koki claims she wants to tutor me out of a sense of obligation, but perhaps the motives are more self-serving than they appear. Koki doesn't know anyone in this apartment complex. She doesn't have any friends at work. She doesn't have any family members living nearby. Just like you, dude! I guess we're in the same boat. Exactamundo. That's why I say, after only a moment of hesitation, alright, let's spend more time together, the three of us. That sounds like fun. After all, I was lonely too. That evening, after Koku and Tama leave, I make a momentous decision. Finally, after weeks of subsiding on instant meals, I decide to cook for myself. I think it must have been the comparer that did it. Koku worked hard to make that dish, simple though it might be. She didn't have to make it for me, but she did all the same, and then she had to battle her embarrassment and feelings of inadequacy to give it to me. Tama was rather damning about her mother's cooking, but I don't care if Koku's food tastes bad. In the end, it's the thought that counts. And so, I prepare myself a simple meal. I boil rice in the cooker my parents give me, then serve it with a side of miso soup, some pickled vegetables, and of course, Koku's comparer. It's a frugal meal devoid of meat. We don't have any pork or chicken, let alone beef. I don't mind though, that gives the comparer even more space to shine. Comforting smell of freshly cooked rice hanging in the air, mixed with the aroma of miso paste and chopped spring onion. I sit at the low wooden table in my dining room, which also serves as my living room and the bedroom, and bow my head. Thank you for the food. I might be alone, but I don't feel lonely. How could I feel lonely after talking with Koku? It won't be the last time we talk either. We're going to see each other again and again. And who knows? Animaniacs is back? Is it? Cool. Also, hi. Perhaps, after enough time has passed, we'll become something more than neighbours. A guy can dream, right? There's no harm in a little make-believe. I dip my chopsticks into my bowl of comparer. The comparer looks fairly standard as far as comparer goes. The colourful shreds of cut carrot contrast nicely with the white lotus root and the brown burdock. The vegetables haven't been cut evenly. Some strips are far thicker than others, but I don't think it matters. I can tell, though the dish is imperfect, that Koku put a lot of effort into this. I bring a mouthful of comparer to my lips and chew it slowly. Koku must have used a touch too much vinegar because the dish tastes faintly acidic, and it's a bit too salty. This comparer isn't as good as my mother's, but that's quite a high hurdle to clear. But what it is, that's pretty nice. The vegetables are cool and reassuringly crunchy, and the flavour, though stronger than I prefer, is nostalgic. Hi Jessie, welcome back! It sounds like quite a struggle teaching children the trumpets, especially, I'm guessing you're doing it over Zoom? Or some sort of internet thing? Maybe not? Even still, I feel like it's a little like wrangling a small child in this game. All of a sudden, I feel sentimental. Koku's comparer might be a touch too vinegary, but despite that, I think It's a very gentle kind of dish. I haven't had food like this in a long time. I wonder if Kayuki will let me eat her cooking again. Okay. Hit the wrong button. The next day as I'm walking home from cram school, I'm struck by a sudden fancy. There's a family restaurant not too far from the Keikyu Kawasaki station situated near my apartment. Petit Jardin. This Petit Jardin, like most of the Petit Jardin restaurants, is obviously modelled after an American diner. The building is Western inspired, made of red bricks with a sloping roof, glass windows, and a bright red sign above the entrance that reads Café Restaurant Petit Jardin. I've walked past this unassuming family restaurant for almost a month without once pausing, but now it's taken on some kind of new significance. I rarely eat out these days, I can't justify the expense. Pre-packed food sold on convenience store shelves is much cheaper. All the same, it's been a long time since I ate at a Petit Jardin. I have some fond memories associated with this chain of restaurants. My parents used to take me here when I was a little kid, and I didn't know enough about food to be really discerning. I used to think that simple meals served at this place were fancy. Now I'm a little older and I like to think a little wiser. Giving in to my inner child every once in a while can't hurt, right? Well, it might hurt my wallet, but one meal shouldn't break the bank. I dither at the entrance to the restaurant for a few moments undecided. Should I indulge my childhood nostalgia? What's the point? It won't taste as good as you remember. It's all frozen food anyway, you might as well buy it cheaper from the convenience store. That way you won't risk being disappointed. That's what the cynical part of my brain says, and I know it's right, but after eating Kayuki's Kimpera, I've been feeling strangely sentimental. The Kimpera wasn't exactly good, but it still filled me with fond memories. Maybe Petit Jardin will be the same. Tama seems to rate this place pretty highly, though she did say she liked my food better. Now I want to know exactly what I'm up against. Excuse me. I push open the door of the family restaurant and enter. Overhead, a bell rings, signalling my entrance. The inside of this place is almost identical to the Petit Jardin back in Aomori. Well, that's to be expected, this isn't a chain restaurant for nothing. The branding's gotta be the same all over Japan. It lets people know what they're getting. The familiarity is probably meant to be comforting, and in fact it kinda is. The interior decor is cheap and cheerful, but tastefully so. The floorboards, I'm sure they're not made of real wood, are shiny and polished, and there are kitschy potted plants arranged by the entrance. Tables line the walls, surrounded by chairs and shiny red couches. Cram school let out early today, and it's almost 4 in the afternoon. It's that awkward period between lunch and dinner, and the restaurant is more or less empty, save for a couple of mothers with their young children, far too small to attend elementary school. I wait in the entrance for a while, content to examine my surroundings. Some things really don't change, huh? Feels like I'm back in the 1990s. 20 years ago, I would have been one of those kids daubing my face with ketchup or upsetting my soda, whilst my mother watched affectionately and tutted. It sure takes me back. I stretch, raising my arms above my head. I'm not that hungry. These little kids with dirty faces and dirty fingers aren't doing much for my appetite. Maybe I'll have something simple. An ice cream sundae, maybe. I haven't had an ice cream sundae in a while. It's the kind of food typically served to 5-year-olds or teenagers on dates. Too old to fit into either category and haven't been on a date since I was 15, but whatever. Now that I've made up my mind, nothing's going to come between me and my dessert. I tap my foot against the ground. Though there aren't many people here, no one's come to show me to my seat yet. Maybe the waitstaff are busy mopping up spilled orange juice. I guess I'll have to take matters into my own hands. I step forward ready to find my own seat when... I'm terribly sorry for the wait, sir. I'll be with you in just a second. A waitress hurries past me, her dark ponytail fluttering. She's holding a tray in one hand with an ice cream sundae perched precariously atop it. I guess someone had the same idea as me. It's alright, I wasn't waiting that long. Take your time. Thank you for your understanding, sir. The waitress hurries off. I didn't get a chance to look at her face, but her voice seems vaguely familiar. She's wearing a crisp white shirt, the buttons done up neatly, and a red skirt with a high waist. Her legs are clad in opaque tights, and her feet are encased in red heels. I'm not sure if heels are a practical footwear for waiting on tables, but maybe they're a mandatory part of the uniform. If so, it doesn't seem all that fair. I can't imagine the guys are forced to wear heels. As I'm pondering the vast, murky subject of gender inequality, the harried-looking waitress places a sundae down on a table in the far corner and bows. She then wipes a few loose strands of hair behind her ear, clasps the now empty tray against her chest, and makes her way over to me. I really do apologise for the delay. I'll get you seated immediately. If you would care to follow... But the waitress pauses. Her eyes widen in recognition, as do mine. It's no wonder I thought she looked so familiar. It's because she is. She might be wearing heels and makeup, her eyelashes long and jet black, but she's still unmistakably Coyote. Kayuki? As luck would have it, the end of Kayuki's shift happens to coincide with my leaving the restaurant. The two of us walk through Kawasaki, our footsteps mingling on the grey asphalt. We're taking quite an indirect route back to our apartment. It was Kayuki's idea. It'd be faster to walk down the streets and cut through a parking lot, but Kayuki led us through a small park instead. This might be a circuitous route, but I don't really mind. Fresh air is invigorating, and there's a faint breeze. It's not exactly cold. It's spring, and the park is recovered from winter's ravages. The trees are thick with pale pink blossoms, and flowers are beginning to sprout indiscriminately around the wooden legs of the park benches and the bases of the trees. It's a simple park, enveloped in shades of pale pink. It's pleasant all the same. The soil smells very fresh, and although this sounds a little strange, alive. It feels like all kinds of things are growing in the grass that borders this thin grey path, just waiting for the summer. I wonder if, given enough time, I'll be able to bloom too. Oh my, this is quite embarrassing. I didn't think I'd see you at the restaurant, Mitsuki. I didn't think I was going to go there anyway. Family restaurants weren't really made for guys on their own. Petit Jardin is more popular among families and young children, yes. I guess that's why they call it a family restaurant. I suppose so. Haruki laughs quietly, but it doesn't sound entirely convincing. She dips her head, her cheeks pale pink, and brushes a strand of hair behind her ear. I felt a little out of place there, to tell you the truth. I know, you were looking around like a little lost puppy. Oh? I give Kayuki a teasing smile. Does that mean you were watching me? No, I mean, yes, maybe a little, but I couldn't help myself. I was curious. What drove you to go to the Petit Jardin in the first place, Mitsuki? Kayuki looks at me, her eyes narrowed. Call me paranoid, but does she look disapproving? I hope she doesn't think I've been stalking her. I'm not that pathetic. This was all a coincidence. Really? Well, I guess it was because of Tama, really? Tama? That's right, she says my food was better than the food at Petit Jardin, and it made me feel kind of nostalgic. My parents used to take me there all the time, back when I was a kid. When I was walking back from the station, I suddenly remembered there was a Petit Jardin nearby, and I was struck with the urge to try it out. I wanted to see if my omelette rice really is better than Petit Jardin's. But you didn't order the omelette rice. I didn't need to. Looking at the photos in the menu was more than enough. And what did you use from the photographic evidence, Mr. Master Chef? That all your meals are bought in bulk and frozen and then reheated on demand? Well, I can't argue with that. It's the only way to run a popular chain. Making every meal from scratch would take too much time. I figured people like that they're cheap and cheerful, right? The quality isn't all that important. That's right. Since I work at a family restaurant, I know the food isn't all that good, but I still enjoy eating at places like that from time to time. It gives me a little break from the kitchen. Cooking on my own takes such a long time, and I'm not very good at it. I feel you there. You do? I wasn't very good at cooking when I first began. I wanted to give up, but my mother's encouragement kept me going. Encouragement, that must be nice. I cook for Tama when I can, but she's so picky she doesn't like eating anything that has vegetables in it, particularly green peppers. Then I'm glad she was so complimentary about my omelette rice. Do you think she was trying to be nice? If you can say that, you don't know my Tama at all. I've done my best to raise her, as best as I can being a single mother, but Tama doesn't have a considerate bone in her body. She never spares a thought on others' feelings. She just blurts out everything that pops into her head. She gets into fights at school because of that nasty habit. Kayuki sighs. I wonder if it's my fault. Maybe I did a poor job bringing her up. I'm sure you did just fine, Kayuki. How would you know that? You've only met Tama twice. You don't know the first thing about her. Pause. You don't know the first thing about me, either. I know that Tama can be a bit of a brat, but she's a sweetheart deep down. Very, very deep down. And I know that you look sweet on the outside, but you can be pretty harsh when you want. Am I being harsh right now? Maybe a little. I smile and nudge Kayuki in the ribs with my elbow. I feel like I'm being grilled by a detective here. That or I'm being scolded by my mum. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scold you. I'm just so used to dealing with Tama, it just happens sometimes. She's pretty much the only person I speak to nowadays. Kayuki's lips purse. She sighs again, but the sound is so quiet, you can barely hear it. I really am grateful that you helped Tama back then, you know. I can't thank you enough. I'm not upset with you, but part of me does worry. I don't bite, I promise. That's not the reason why I'm worried, it's more... I don't want you to judge me. Makes you say that? Does it seem like I'm judging you? No, but... Kayuki's fingers rise to her hair once more. I think she means to brush a few loose strands behind her ear again. It's not a nervous tick. Given the breeze, it seems rather pointless. An exercise in futility. Perhaps it would be better if she just tied her hair back in a ponytail like she did at the restaurant. Then she wouldn't have to keep fiddling with it like a shy, awkward schoolgirl. But if Kayuki tied her hair back, how else would she occupy her restless hands? Ah, I have an idea. Maybe she could link them with mine. Just kidding. People can't help but judge others, that's how the world is. We all form our own opinions about others, even those we pass on the street, or see on the train that we've known for all of 5 seconds. We come to conclusions based on their clothes, their posture, the way they talk. It's silly wanting to be exempt from this. People will judge me no matter what I say, and I can't do anything about it. It's the same for everyone, but all the same, it makes me feel anxious. I know people will be harsher with me than most. Kayuki blinks at me, her brown eyes large and imploring. Feels like if I keep staring into eyes, I might be able to bridge the distance between us. But then Kayuki turns her head and the moment is ruined. I'm sorry, that probably sounded stupid. I must sound so stupid. Well, no, it's not stupid. I don't think anyone likes being judged, least of all by complete strangers. Do you really think so? I know so. I mean, I feel exactly the same. When I'm in cram school, surrounded by kids 5 years younger than me, I feel so awkward. My classmates don't talk to me, but I know they're looking down on me. I can see it in their faces. It makes me feel like I'm not wanted, the odd one out. I hate it, but it's not like I can order them to stop. If I could, I totally would, but I'm not the emperor. I'm just Tanimura Mitsuki. Oh, I see. Have you told them about that, Mitsuki? Nah, it's easier just to ignore it. But that won't solve your problems. Studying is difficult enough as it is without worrying about others whispering behind your back. No kidding? Going to cram school always kills my mood, but it's not like I can up and quit. I don't want to let my parents down. I see. How admirable. Hi, Kai. What on earth time is it? Oh. It's morning, I think. Time zones are weird. No one has kissed yet. It's a very awkward sort of pre-first date type bit that we've been doing for the last 2.5 hours. It's very sweet. And clever, I think. Yeah, it's 9:30 a.m. for you. I was looking, thinking, hang on, well, you usually stream sort of this time. You start streaming sort of this time, like 12 hours ago type thing. So I figured it was probably morning for you now. Time zones have changed, so my streams are earlier, later, I don't know. Anyway, it's nice that you managed to stop there. I see. How admirable. Not really. I just don't think doing the bare minimum is particularly noteworthy. You're much, much more admirable than I am. Don't know about that. I do. You're a single mother, but you're doing your best to raise Tama on your own. You have a job and you're working hard to make ends meet, and you've been alone in the city for a long time, but you haven't given up. You keep pushing on. That's much, much more impressive than anything I've done with my life. That isn't true. You looked after your mother for 5 years, didn't you? Yeah, but I wasn't alone. My dad did a lot too. I just helped out the family business and kept the house tidy. Anyone could do that. I'm sure they could, but I doubt most young men would want to. I didn't really want to either, but what choice did I have? You could have run away and abandoned my parents after they spent their lives raising me in a way. I couldn't do that. Maybe I thought about it, but well, that doesn't matter now. I still think you're selling yourself too short. You're way more awesome than I am. Awesome? That's very kind of you, but Haruki begins to fiddle with her hair. She winds a dark strand of it about her index finger over and over as though in a trance. No one else sees it the same way, I'm afraid. Least of all my parents. Sometimes I feel like my father judges me enough for 5 people. What do you mean? Why? Haruki stops. She inhales a lungful of sweet, crisp air, infused with the scent of falling blossoms. Her long eyelashes flutter. She looks down at the ground. I'm only 24 years old. 24? Haruki nods. I, meanwhile, stare. I hope I'm not gawping. That'd be totally rude. It's not like I'm from a Looney Tunes cartoon, but still. 24. I thought Haruki looked rather young, despite having a daughter in elementary school, but I never imagined she was only 1 year older than me. I can't even begin to imagine looking after a kid on my own. Not at my age, not permanently. How could I ever have a kid? I'm still a kid myself, though paradoxically I feel incredibly uncomfortably old around my classmates. But if Kyoko's only 24 and I assume Tama's 5 or 6, then that's right. Kyoki must have seen me doing the mental math inside my head. Maybe she's used to it, because she affirms my unspoken suspicions. I realised I was pregnant in my last year of high school, a couple of months before my university entrance exams. I'd always had good grades and was on track to go to one of the better universities in Tokyo, but then, well, things didn't quite work out like that. My thoughts are spinning inside my head like a pinwheel, but I don't say anything. This topic is far too delicate for my clumsy intervention. I worry, if I do anything wrong, an ill-chosen word, a single glance out of place, Kyoki will retreat from me and then the two of us will never be able to go closer. I don't want that. I couldn't stand it, so I keep quiet. When my father found out about Tama, he was outraged. He said I betrayed him and brought shame about the family. I knew he'd be upset when he learned the truth, but I never imagined he'd be quite that angry. He's a strict, old-fashioned kind of man, but he was never cool to me. I thought he cared about me, but... Kyoki draws in a breath. Her shoulders are shaking. He really did it. He kicked me out of the house and he cut off my allowance, and he refuses to answer any of my phone calls. He refuses to acknowledge that I exist. It's almost like I'm dead to him. Maybe he wishes I was dead. I wouldn't be surprised. I can still remember the last words he said to me before he threw me out, in almost perfect detail. He'd never spoken to me like that before, and he hasn't spoken to me at all since. I'll take you back if you beg me on bended knee and apologize for all you've done, but only then. You can curse me all you want, but you brought it on yourself. I never raised you to act like this. I don't think I'll ever forget that. He was my father. He said he loved me, but I suppose his love had its limits. The smell of the cherry blossoms, once so sweet and effervescent, is almost overwhelming. Haruko tries to keep her voice cool during her tale, like she's reading a passage of Rashomon out in class, but she can't quite manage it. Her voice cracks. Of course it cracks. She isn't reciting a few lines of prose penned years before she was born. This is the literal story of her life, and it occurred only 6 years ago when she was 18. It's inherited by her family, all because she was pregnant. It's almost unimaginable. About Tama's father, what happened to him? He took his university entrance exams like he'd always intended, and he passed. I'm not sure what happened after that, but I bet he's forgotten all about me. But didn't he take any responsibility for what he did? Haruko shakes her head. He was a perfect honor student. All the teachers loved him. He had a bright and shining future, and I was more than a little in love with him. I had a crush on him for so long, and I was so happy when he asked me to be his girlfriend. He said we had to keep our relationship a secret. We were both in our final year of school, and we were supposed to be studying for exams. He didn't want his parents nagging him, and he knew how strict my father was. I thought he was being considerate, but in the end he only cared about himself. He never told anyone he was Tam's father, and I never told anyone either. I figured even if he made it public, no one would have believed me. He didn't look like the sort of person who would do that to a girl. But couldn't you have done some kind of test? That would have been a way to prove it, right? Of course, the thought crossed my mind. But real life isn't like a TV show, you know. I was afraid bringing the truth to light would only make things worse. It would have caused a scandal, and I wanted no part in that. I was raised to keep quiet and avoid making a fuss. I thought it would be for the best, but in the end, I was the one who was blamed for what happened, and I was the one left to suffer the consequences. Haruko's fingers clench into fists. Her whole body trembles. Haruko. I think about resting a hand on her shoulder, but then I pause. Reconsider. Just what can I do for her exactly? I can't tell her I relate to her problems. I've never been in a similar situation before. My life might have been put on pause for 5 years, but it wasn't completely derailed like Haruko's. My parents will support me no matter what I do. They've always showered me with love and affection. Haruko's parents are different. She doesn't have a safety net. If everything goes wrong, nobody will help her pick up the pieces. She really has been toiling on her own this whole time. No one to help her. But despite that, she refuses to give in. I need to finish up soon. I'm just trying to figure out where a good stopping point is. Nope, I probably shouldn't get that close to the camera. Though she looks fragile, she really is strong. Much, much stronger than I am. Getting my life together after that was difficult. I had no means of making any money, and I was 5 months pregnant. My mother did help me a little, but she had to do it secretly. She felt guilty about what my father did, and though she didn't agree with him, she was too shy to protest. She sends me a little bit of money each month, and though it's not a lot, it's enough to help me get by. She helped me rent this apartment too. I was only 18 at the time, so I couldn't sign the lease on my own. It's by the same developer as Winter's Daydream, Jesse. Yeah, it's a beginning of life story rather than a end of life story. So, yeah. It's very well written. I managed to find somewhere to live, and although I couldn't work, At least I could afford food and basic amenities. I started looking for work a couple of years after Tama was born, when she was old enough to go to daycare. It was expensive, but I did my best to get by. Unfortunately, Icegraph, working at a family restaurant was the best position in Kawasaki I could find. Nobody really wants to hire a girl who dropped out of high school in her final year. Koki sighs deeply. It's not ideal, but I can just about scrape by. I don't have much money and I hardly have any savings. I can't afford new clothes or new shoes, but I've always made sure Tama has enough to eat. I'm doing my best, but sometimes I worry. What if it isn't enough? I had to miss Tama's sports festival last year, though she really wanted me to come. I've had to skip out on parent-teacher meetings, school plays, and I couldn't scrape together enough money to let Tama go on her class trip last year with the rest of her friends. I've never taken Tama to a zoo or an amusement park. She still doesn't know how to swim or how to ride a bike. I want to give her all the opportunities I had as a child, but I don't have the money. It's not possible for me. I bite my lower lip. I'm afraid if I don't, I'll just hurling expletives at all these shadowy people who could have helped Koki in the past, but never lifted a finger. Her ex-boyfriend who betrayed her, her father who abandoned her, her neighbours who've ignored her. They all deserve my scorn and righteous rage, but getting angry won't make a difference. It won't help Koki. I try to swallow my distemper. I breathe in through my nose and count to 3. When I can finally bring myself to form words, my voice is so soft and gentle it surprises even myself. That does sound terrible, and I could tell you how sorry I am for you, but that wouldn't fix anything. I know there's nothing I can do to change the past, but if you need a helping hand, I'm always here, you know. Oh, but I couldn't. I've imposed enough already. You're not imposing, I've told you like 100 times. That's what you say now, but I know you're just trying to be nice. I shouldn't have told you all that. I don't know why I did. It was too much too soon. I guess I just felt desperate. I don't have anyone else to talk to, but that's no excuse for piling all this on you. My troubles aren't yours to shoulder. But I'd like to help if I can. I could babysit Tama for you during the weekends if you want. I know it's not much, but it should free up some of your time. Then you'll be able to pick up more shifts at work and you can save more money. You might be able to get Tama on a bike if you really want. I'd have to pay you. I'll do it for free. But you already offered to tutor me, right? Well, why don't you see it as equivalent exchange? If you help me, I'll help you. It's simple. Koki falls silent and bites her lower lip. I think she might be considering it, but doubt still ripples across her brown eyes. I appreciate it, but are you sure you want to look after Tam for a whole day? She is quite the handful. I figured as much, but I like a challenge. You might change your mind later. I might, but we'll have to see. I don't want to let some little brat get the better of me. Besides, I like Tama and I think she likes me too. I'm sure it'll work out, and even if it doesn't, I'll still try my best. My motto is, never give up. You have a motto? Well, not really. I just wanted to sound reliable, but maybe it worked. I don't know about that. You sounded more like the protagonist of a boys' manga. Well, being a hero is better than being a sidekicker. Besides, the lead is pretty cool. They've also never had to put up with my Tama. You think she'd be able to wear down All Might? Quite easily, I have no doubt about that. I'm still not sure about this, but... Slowly but surely, a small smile finds its way to Koki's lips. She's actually smiling. Oh, why not? It's been such a long time since anyone offered to help me. I'd be a fool to turn you down. Thank you, Mitsuki. Koki bows deeply, her hands still resting at her front. I appreciate it. When Koki straightens her back, the wind catches in her long hair so it flutters. It almost seems to be dancing in the breeze, free and unfettered. The expression on Koki's face can only be described as radiant. I'm not usually right about things, but this is an observation I'm confident about. Koki really does look better when she's smiling. Oop, wrong screen. Okay. thank you for attending Storytime with Joe. But we've come to the end of the stream. I hope you enjoyed the game. If you want to find out what happens in the story, I'm afraid you're going to have to purchase the game yourself. As I think because it is purely a story game, I'm not going to do the whole thing on stream. I will, however, be enjoying the rest of the story myself. It's out tomorrow. It's called The Language of Love. It's published by Ratalaika Games and developed by EB Heim, as Jessie pointed out, same developer as Winter's Daydream, and also Strawberry Vinegar, which was the first stream that I did on Twitch. And it's really, really good storytelling, so I would recommend you pick up a copy tomorrow. I don't imagine it'll be a massive amount of money. They're usually quite inexpensive, but it's definitely worth it. So yes, I'm glad I could do a relaxing stream for you, Leaky. I certainly enjoyed Storytime with Joe. It's quite nice. I like doing the voices, and you know, it was an interesting story. So yeah. Okay, so I will be back Thursday, 8 PM UK time, which is now GMT because daylight savings disappeared. Thank goodness. I much prefer GMT. It's a better time. So yes, I'll be back Thursday at 8, but if you're not quite sure, the schedule is below on Twitch. If you're not already following, then, you know, please do. I've also set up a Discord. If you're not in my Discord, then please do consider joining me. You'll get notified most of the time when my streams go live, and be able to have a chat. Aside from that, other people are streaming. I will be hosting them if they're streaming. I can't think who's got stuff on, except I think Jessie is doing a race tomorrow, so shout out to Jessie. And I believe obviously Reese will be doing Thursday, and I think Ross is doing the late night Friday stream. So there we go, have some shout outs. But for now, I've been Joe. Exactly. It's going to do a practice in the morning. For now, I've been Joe, otherwise known as Angel SK. Thank you so much for watching. And join me next time for another cool game. Catch you later. Bye.